driving. 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 Taking taking taking
I'm literally in my pajamas, but I have something that I need to say because
don't spill it. 145, so you know it's time to kill it. Call me weatherman, I'm about to make snow. My wrist game look like a quarter-pound blow. I make it go fast, just like a NASCAR.
Welcome. Sorry for the delay. I had some audio issues. We got it working. Welcome in to a wonderful Thursday. For the usual Thursday vibes, I am not having it. Why is my fucking chair looking back? Oh my god.
So let me leave.
Hate Thursdays. Thursdays are my Mondays, if you didn't know that. Fucking hate Thursdays. I've been up since 6 a.m. Hate it. I'm cranky. Enough is enough.
So you know I had to peel it. Gig the whole song and I still ain't spilled it.
Presidency. Save us. Let me just reply to some dumb bullshit. Breaking. Democrats say that a Kamala Harris Bernie Sanders ticket for 2028 would win every state but Florida. My reaction is Kamala better be the fucking VP in this scenario. Kamala better be the fucking VP in that scenario. Did you guys see Kamala HQ is up and running again? You guys ready? You ready for the coconuts? You ready to exist in all that's become before you? You guys ready to build the wall and have the most lethal military? And yes, I eat my string cheese like a psycho. Don't worry, guys. Kamala's gonna save us. Kamala says, I think ICE should do their jobs as long as they're not wearing masks and have body cameras. I have a Glock, yeah. I swear to God, if that woman ends up being the fucking candidate, I'm done. I'm moving. Heard it's real cheap in Thailand. They also got legal weed. I can move to Thailand and resume my career and pay like $2,000 an entire year for rent. I'm trying to lose the change, yeah. I swear to God, dude. They fucking run her. I'm gonna lose my goddamn mind, dude. I am. I take Gavin Newsom than fucking Kamala, and I fucking hate Gavin Newsom too. I hate him just as much. The reason it would make me more mad if they ran Kamala again is just proof that the fucking DNC doesn't learn their fucking lesson. Fucking 15 million voters didn't show up because of fucking Kamala Harris's nonsense. Like I said, Thursday's cranky. Everyone on TikTok's like, oh my God, Kamala Harris HQ posted. Oh my God. You people are dumber than I thought you were. I thought y'all changed if you're with your lock up ICE rhetoric. But you're going to vote for the woman who's going to fund ICE.
No, she wouldn't. No, she wouldn't.
Okay, look at the establishment Democrats right now. They're going to fund ICE with the stipulation that they have face masks and body cameras. That's it. And it sounds like the Republicans aren't even going to agree to that. They said it's virtually impossible to do that, is what they said. The Dems are just going to go, okay, and then they're going to fucking sign the bill. And the reason I bring that up, because they're like, well, Kamala Harris isn't in the government right now. Yeah, but she's an establishment Democrat. She's going to do what they do. President, the zombie apocalypse is happening. What should we do? Send $2 billion to Israel right now. Yeah. Hear that, guys? Yeah, I wish I could do it good. I got to work on Kamala Harris's. I had a good impression of Kamala Harris. You can do Trump. I can do Obama. You know, you just got a little George Bush in you. I got no Kamala. I also can't do Bernie Sanders very well. He's almost like Trump, though. It's because they're both from New York. Let's be fucking real here. It's because they're both from the East Coast. That's why they sound alike. Slightly different. Where Trump's more in the throat. Bernie's more in the cheeks. You know, I can't quite do it. He just reminds me of Nixon from Futurama. Silly whatever, yeah. If I gotta hear one more fucking think piece from a Democrat, a fucking liberal, talking about how leftists cost the election, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. 15 million registered Democrats didn't get off their asses and vote. They're like, oh, she lost by 2.5 million. And it's like, if you round up every independent vote from every state, not just the Green Party, every independent voter from every state, it's barely 1 million people. It's almost like those of us who voted third party didn't have a fucking impact. Also, I live in Colorado. They're gonna always fucking be blue. I swear if they were on her. Like, we just want JD Vance, apparently. I don't think AOC is going to run. I think everyone thinks AOC is going to run. I don't think AOC is going to run. I think AOC wants to wait one more election, one more round. the must be born in the USA bullshit and run Zoran and run my the voting booth like Scooby-Doo character? Yeah. It would literally be that easy. No, I mean, like, look, if we're honestly looking at, like, honest to God, like, candidates that are actually, like, available, I really think for those of us on the left, you got AOC. I think that's all you got. I don't think you'd see Bernie Sanders run again. He's too fucking old. I don't think Bernie's gonna run. And honestly, I don't want Bernie to run. Bernie, I have my issues with Bernie. I don't want Bernie to run anyway. I have more issues with Bernie than I do AOC, and I have a lot of issues with AOC too. AOC is really our fucking option, like, sadly enough. I don't know what leftist is gonna come out of the woodwork and be a better candidate than AOC. And like I said, I don't think AOC is perfect, nor am I a huge fan, but at least enough of a fan because everyone is such a lib. Yeah. Same with AOC. I mean, I'd argue with that with AOC too. She only has her like based moments because she's just like slightly left of center. All sorts of streamer drama going on. Can I just be a streamer drama content creator? Can I just do that? Probably be more popular. Kidding, I don't like streamer drama and that's fucking stupid and I would still just talk about politics. Stream fundraiser. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think there's a lot of, I think she does good things. I want that to be clear. I think AOC does good things. And I think AOC is also willing to listen and take criticism. I'll give her that. Voting for defensive weapons in Israel, not great. Not admitting it was a genocide for like almost an entire year, not great. You know? She has a lot of tendencies to do a lot of careerism, for sure. You know, she's also a huge proponent behind Zoran, you know, so, you know, once again, another positive. But she does a lot of stuff clearly to like protect her career, which, once again, this is like one of those moments where it's like, it doesn't matter who you put into this system. They're going to have to play ball to stay in office and they're going to have to do shit you don't like. And that sucks because it's the system that's the problem, not more than it is the person. But at the same time, I still don't like seeing careerism garbage. Middle of the roading stuff because you're like scared to. You not remember AOC literally going, Joe Biden's our guy. What do you mean you want Joe Biden to drop out? Joe Biden shouldn't drop out. He's our guy. I stand with Biden. You know, one of the fucking parties like, who the fuck's we? Maybe she knew though. That's the thing is like maybe she knew. And I would argue that if Biden didn't, let's be real. If Biden didn't have that horrific debate, I think we'd be looking at a different situation. And I do think Biden could have beat Trump, to be honest with you. But once he had that debate, Biden had to go. Biden had to go after that debate. There was no running him after that. Teresa across the aisle work together, yeah. I also don't want to hear politicians say that shit. It's about bringing us together as Americans. Yeah, we're past that, dude. We live in a world where people want to kill people for slight differences. bipartisanship is a scam, 100%. Bipartisanship works if you're talking about communists and socialists having conversations. Because they have clearly the same end goal. We're talking about fascists in fucking fascist light. Like, what are you talking about? I don't want to hear Sleepy Joe again after this bitch has been constantly sleeping. Oh, yeah. I'm not Jolie either, but man, damn, he always been caught. Leave the poor Joey alone. Yeah, I loved. Did you see that like article they ran? Hold on. I don't know. Like, I'm gonna blink. That's what I do. I do as I blink. Where's the most recent one? Hold on. I mean, I got at least the Yahoo of Fox News. At least Yahoo got it right, which is funny to say. But Fox News and like, it wasn't just Fox either. It was like Fox, CBS, all of them were like, where's Joe Biden now? Where's Joe Biden now? He's on vacation. And it's like, he's retired. He is no longer president. He's battling ass cancer. Yeah, he's on vacation. They're like still like, yeah, here we go. Yeah, here it is. This shit's so funny.
And you'll never believe where Joe Biden was spotted. Spoiler alert, he's on vacation. And you'll never believe where Joe Biden was spotted. Spoiler alert, he's on vacation.
Look at the size of that fucking forehead. She has to be wearing a wig, right? Because there's no way her head slopes like that.
And you'll never believe.
Like, there's no way her head slopes like that. Am I crazy? She's got to have her hair up in like a bun and have like a wig on it. That's why her hair's all big in the back. No one's head fucking jumps backwards. Hell yeah, Nightbot. Hell yeah. So glad it automatically does Discord messages for me now. Should I have extensions in it? Yeah, I guess that would do it too. It's Sonia Massey's murderer. Carmen said, max sentence is long enough. I got this. Yeah. Getting extended. I mean, it is Fox News. That shit was funny though. Like, he's on vacation. It's like, yeah, dude, he's literally battling cancer. How about you just leave him alone? Nah, we got to be the worst people possible. All right. You know, we're just living through hell. It's cool. Like, turn into a dubstep show. All right. Well, it's time for me to yell at things. Here, you know what? I mean, we need some angry music to start off. How about that? I'll take a dab while this happens, actually. I found this genre. It's called Chicago down-tempo new metal.
Oh! You punk-ass bitch! Run your fucking mouth to the law like you thought a fucking up was a way of truth! Fuck you, bitch! Don't let me catch you ragging outside, you scaredy-ass motherfucker! You don't know shit about this! There's that new times fighting words! That 312 shit! Catch a motherfucking case on me, bitch! All you are is a fucking brick! No one to save you! So catch a fucking brick, bitch! I fucking hate the way that you look at me! You punk, bitch, fuck! And what I say, undeceiving! Straight the fuck is all you'll ever be! All
Damn. We need a circle pit emote. That'll probably get me in a better headspace.
Always want to rub that fucking mouth. Well, take that same fucking mouth and put it against the curb, bitch. You're trying to feel my heel on the back of your head? They're gonna have to identify you by your fucking dental records, prick.
Fuck you. Get shot through. Fuck the boys in blue. Bitch.
You wait. God, oh,
Word of truth. Live your rectal life as a toothless prick.
you'll think again before you fucking get hit. Bitch. 3-1-2. Get shot through.
The band is called Dem Fightin' Words. All one word. Dem Fightin' Words. I love their stuff. Their stuff's awesome. And they use like a lot of like at the beginning of that song, they had the old, oh sorry. They had the old James Bond game stuff going. A lot of their songs do that where they have like old like early 2000s or like late 90s reference like samples in it. It's pretty good. I don't think they have an entire album yet. They just have like a handful of songs that are around. Yeah. Yeah, here. Did you not catch here? You didn't catch it. It starts out. Yeah, they got all sorts of stuff like that. My level. Yeah, I played it recently. It's fun. It's fun to play again. Not super intuitive. You're like, man, these N64 games were not made to be intuitive. All right. I know I shouldn't be looking through here because I've already gotten most videos, but it wouldn't be me if I didn't take at least one more look. Is this more? Song's called, or the band's name's Ended, New Wage Slavery. That's cool. If I can ever find good punk, I'm always here for it. I guess it's technically hardcore. I got friends that get mad about that. Excuse me, this is hardcore, not punk. I'm like, but is hardcore not a genre of punk? Am I losing my mind? It's the same BPMs. It's basically the same guitar riffs, which is more distortion, and the singer it does the same kind of tempo. Like, is it not? The Lion King game. Oh yeah, I remember that one vividly. I can't remember if I ever beat it or not, but I had it on Sega Genesis. I used to play the shit out of that in the 90s. It's just giving me all this insane, like all this new music. All these Midwest guys. I'm not even a metal guy, but I've been liking a lot of this stuff I've been finding recently. Like, I'm really not like a big metal guy at all. I know I kind of maybe seem like it, but I was when I was younger. Now I kind of just stick to your like classic punk mainly, and like an insane amount of hip hop and a lot of fucking electronic music. All right, I gotta stop. Now it's giving me nothing but like music recommendations. We can't do this. All right. Fuck you. Get shot through. I never heard of Felt. We have like a pretty big metal and punk scene in Denver. I just don't make it out to stuff anymore. Like I said, I'm not a big metal guy. Mostly like know what my friends have exposed me to metal wise.
Democracy Now! DemocracyNow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman. President Trump's so-called border czar, Tom Homan, said Wednesday 700 federal agents will be leaving Minnesota. Homan cited what he called significant progress in forcing local officials to cooperate with the federal government's crackdown. Minnesota's Governor Tim Walz called the move a step in the right direction, but demanded a faster drawdown of federal immigration forces. Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota's House of Representatives called for a complete withdrawal, writing, quote, "There are still more than 2,000 ICE agents terrorizing Minnesota's communities every day. ICE out now," they wrote. ICE agents still far outnumber the Minneapolis Police Department. On Wednesday, Minnesota teachers' unions joined a pair of local school districts in a lawsuit to keep federal immigration agents off school property and away from bus stops. Some schools in the Twin Cities have seen up to half of all students remain home during ICE's crackdown. The lawsuit came just after 10-year-old Elizabeth
You see a hell of local shows, but my knees are fucking so standing room only would suck. Yeah.
Zuna Caisaguano walked free from an immigration jail in Dilley, Texas, alongside her mother after they were seized by...
Why is there a 10-year-old in prison? Why is there a fucking 10-year-old in a detainment center? This is Photoshop. She actually has MS-13 tattoos on her forehead. She's actually a lead hit woman for the cartels, you know.
ICE nearly a month ago on their way to school in the Minneapolis...
She's been locked up for a month? Bro.
A suburb of Columbia Heights. She's reportedly experiencing flu-like symptoms and has broken out with hives, prompting fears over her health amidst an outbreak of measles at the Dilley ICE jail.
Dude. You know, like I said, you know what? Perfect candidate for me would go, look, we're not going to dismantle the concentration camps. We're going to free everyone from the concentration camps. We're not going to take them down because we're going to fill them with ICE agents and the current administration. Bro, I don't care. I don't care if you're getting Stephen Miller's coffee. You're going to fucking jail. You're going to go fucking live in a concentration camp. Bro, I don't care if you sweep Trump's floor. I don't give a shit if you bring him his fucking fillet of fish every day. I don't care if that's the only role you had to play in the administration. To the concentration camps with you. I want Donald Trump to live in one of those cells in Alligator Alcatraz where it's 50 people to one toilet. That's where I want Donald Trump to be. Because you know what? Honestly, I think is more of a punishment than anything else would be making Donald Trump shit in front of 50 men who make less than $100,000 a year. I think that is a worse punishment than anything else you could do.
The U.S. Attorney.
Just doing punch orders, yeah. Force you nothing but green vegetables and tofu, yeah.
Attorney's office for the District of Minnesota has removed an attorney from her post after she told a judge, quote, "This job
in every cell, I put at least one anti-vaxxer with measles in it.
Sucks," unquote. The attorney, Julie Lay, complained of a crushing workload due to the Trump administration's immigration crackdown and the government's refusal to comply with court orders.
Everyone's harrowing this woman once again. Fuck you.
Her complaints came as the American Civil Liberties Union
So for you, so we can go over the spiciness, yeah.
to investigate the Trump's immigration crackdown.
Yeah, this woman from DHS, everyone's like harrowing her because she went in front of Congress and was like, "I'd rather go to jail than work here any longer." Yeah, well, you worked there for a year and you did what you did for a year, so fuck you. Like, I have no empathy for these fucking people.
Writing
over it.
The Trump administration's
You could tell it's a Thursday. I am fucking on one.
Just crackdown in Minnesota.
Smoke more weed. Maybe that'll
the Constitution, but also United States international human rights obligations that prohibit the use of racial and ethnic profiling, extrajudicial killings, and unlawful use of force against protesters and observers. Unquote.
Guys, we're against America. The ACLU, guys, don't worry. The ACLU came out and said they're against people being murdered in the streets. Don't worry, guys. It's fixed.
President Trump's former White House advisor, Steve Bannon, is calling for ICE agents
good move at this point, right?
polling sites during the midterm elections. His comments come just days after President Trump called on Republicans to nationalize voting in the U.S.
And you're damn right. We're going to have ICE surround the polls come November. We're not going to sit here and allow you to steal the country again.
I tried making a TikTok about this, but my TikTok is like severely shadow banned because I decided to explain to someone the crimes of Nicki Minaj's husband. And I didn't edit myself enough, so I got in a bunch of trouble on TikTok. So my account is like shadow banned to hell now. So I tried to make a video about this the other day when it came out. Yeah, dude, cool. You're going to put armed military around polling places. Fuck yeah, dude. That's so cool. That's not massively against the law or anything. You're such an uggo. I know. I don't get him. I see on TikTok anymore. They're deleting their accounts. I'm not going anywhere. You know why I'm not going anywhere? One, because it's still the most used app and I try to make content. Two, the other thing is like, where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? You think Google isn't pro-Israel? You think Mark Zuckerberg is not pro-Israel? You think Mark Zuckerberg and the entire board of Google aren't literally slobbing on Trump's dick right now? Where are you going to go? Instagram, Facebook. Oh, I'm going to get on YouTube Shorts. You'll be a Nazi by the afternoon. So don't get me wrong. Like, I'm mad about TikTok, but I just don't see deleting my account to be worth my time.
And you can whine and cry and throw your...
Going to the metaverse, duh. Yeah. I mean, once again, this is one of those moments like, oh, what's this, fuck Fuentes? Yeah. Yeah, that's one thing I like about TikTok is there's the stream from what it is. Yeah. I Rumble, yeah. Yeah, I'll head over to Rumble. They'll love me over there. I can go get paid money from Steak. I don't even think he's on Rumble anymore. No, you're right. I think he is on Rumble. Yeah, I think he's even banned on Kick. No, guys, I'm going to go to Kick and I'm just going to do 4 hours of Steak gambling ads every day. If you ever see me doing that, don't say nothing. I'm just trying to get my bag, okay? Kidding. I would never. I wouldn't even run. I don't even like running ads on my current stuff.
Your toys out of the pram all you want, but we will never again allow an election to be stolen.
In response to former Trump advisor Steve.
So yeah, if you live in a red state or even a somewhat purple state, get ready to have to go in to vote in person this year. I'm just gonna say that now. I think the like main strongholds probably won't. You know, like places like where I'm at in Colorado and stuff like that, like very hard liberal strongholds will probably keep our fucking mail-in voting. But I would be like, if you live in Georgia or any of the 7 swing states from the last election, expect to go in and vote in person, and you will probably have to do it at gunpoint. Sadly enough, that means midterms too. It means midterms, presidential election. If you want to vote, this is what we have to do now. And is it fair? Fuck no. Is it fucked up? Yes, but that is how they disenfranchise people. This is how they do it. This is how they do it. They disenfranchise people to a point where they try to, like, you know, cut the numbers that way. And the only way to fight against that is to get your ass in there and vote if you can. Remember, with your labor laws federally, you're allowed to leave work and go vote. Your boss can't do anything about it. And in fact, I think you're supposed to have to be paid for it for that time. Run, walk, crawl. That's what you're gonna have to roll. You're gonna have to do everything. All folks home, and obviously all of them just love to see my butch ass coming. Yeah. Well, that's the point, right? They want to make it uncomfortable. They want to make it uncomfortable for everybody too. Like, it's not even just the threat of violence. They want to make it uncomfortable. So you're like, man, what's my one vote really? I'm already looking into my local primary. Yeah. I wish I had anything good to say about Colorado's primaries. Colorado needs to get their head out of their asses, dude. We have some of the worst fucking politicians, especially for being such like a progressive place. It's so crazy. It's so crazy because, you know, I'm a millennial, late 30s, and at no point, like, and all of my friends and everyone I know, from the fucking Gen Z up to even in my area, the majority of Gen X, are all not even liberals, but like heavy leftists. And yet we have some of the dumbest fucking politicians. I don't get how they get voted in. I doubt. Boomers alone, I guess. Dude, our governor, Jared Polis, is an R libertarian shit poster. He calls himself a democratic libertarian. Oh no, there's already a hole in my new pants. Oh, God damn it, Bobby. I can't win, man. I can't win today. This is my first time wearing my shorts today. There's a fucking hole in them. Can't win today. What are those like sewing things you can get? It's like a stapler. I need one of those. Can probably stitch that for you. Probably. You ever seen those things? It's like a stitch stapler. Yeah, it's like this. Call it a portable sewing machine, I guess. I need to get one. Because I can hand sew stuff, but like it's annoying. I'm not very good at it. Like, yeah, hand deal, yeah. No, it's just because I'm buying cheap clothes too. That's part of it. These are shorts I got on TikTok. You're fucking $11. I can probably get them stitched. I'm just being a whiny. I'm just being a whiny bitch. It's Thursday. I'm being a fucking whiner. I need to get something like that so I can just fix little stuff like that quick.
Steve Bannon's
But yeah, Get in and vote.
On Wednesday, no.
Oh, no, that's not what I wanted to do.
White House advisors. On Wednesday, White House advisor Steve Bannon's calling for ICE agents to be deployed at polling sites.
We will never.
Is a red alert. Steve Bannon's comments. Democratic Senator Ed Markey said, quote, "This is a red alert moment. We have to start working to protect polling places from Trump's paramilitary ICE goons before it's too late," unquote. Meanwhile, Republican Congressmember Barry Loudermilk said he won't seek re-election this November, becoming the 29th House Republican incumbent to leave office early or announce a resignation. Republicans currently hold a slim 4-seat majority in the House. The U.S. Supreme Court will allow California to use a new congressional map approved by voters. It's designed to flip up to 5 seats now held by Republicans. On Wednesday, no justices dissented as the court issued a 1-sentence order on its emergency docket, often called the court's shadow docket. The brief ruling came exactly 2 months after justices signed off on a gerrymandered congressional map in Texas, where Republicans expect to pick up 5 additional House seats. In the Gaza Strip, 25 more Palestinians returned through the Rafah border crossing earlier today, some of the first to return to the besieged territory since Israel partially reopened the crossing on Monday for the first time in nearly 2 years. Those returning to Gaza through Rafah described a harrowing journey with severe Israeli restrictions that included hours of interrogation, physical abuse, and the confiscation of personal belongings. One woman was stripped of essential medications along with toys and cell phones for her children and siblings. On Wednesday, Palestinians gathered to mourn loved ones killed by Israeli tank fire and airstrikes that killed 23 people in a day. Among them was a medic who rushed to help victims of a strike on Khan Yunis and was then killed by a second attack on the same location.
We were surprised today by the targeting of our colleague medic, Hussein al-Samiri, who was martyred while carrying out his humanitarian duty of transporting the wounded from Khan Yunis. These attacks must stop. International law provides protection to providers of health and ambulance services.
The Trump administration's move to approve $6 billion in new arms sales to Israel. Representative Gregory Meeks, the ranking Democrat on the House Foreign Affairs Committee, said he had just.
So you're going to see some crazy shit pop up on my stream. I'm
administration that it would disregard
screenshotting to talk shit on Twitter.
Weapons transfers. Meeks said the administration's repeatedly ignored Congress's constitutional role by refusing to brief lawmakers on Gaza policy while failing to justify its actions. Meanwhile, Senate Minority Leader, Democrat Chuck Schumer, is defending his record of helping to arm Israel. Schumer spoke to a breakfast gathering of Jewish leaders in New York Sunday, a day after Israeli attacks killed at least 31 Palestinians in Gaza, including 6 children.
All the aid that Israel needs, I will continue to fight for it. And we delivered more security assistance to Israel, our ally, under my leadership than ever before. We will keep doing that, everybody.
In the UK, 6 Palestine Action protesters were found not guilty Wednesday of aggravated burglary, even after they admitted to breaking into a factory operated by Israeli defense firm Elbit. The pro-Palestinian activists had spent 18 months in jail awaiting trial. 18 other alleged Palestine Action members are currently awaiting trials scheduled for later this year. The British government has banned Palestine.
Just beating the shit out of and jailing people who support fucking Palestine, by the way.
Terrorism Act over direct action.
Welcome to fascist UK.
And protests against Israel's treatment of Palestinians.
I want to be nowhere. I want to be nowhere near Europe recently. Nowhere fucking near it.
Spokesperson for the group defended.
Europe in general has turned into a fucking fascist shithole.
Juries
just as bad, if not worse, than America. Well, not long ago, UK had a bunch of white dudes rioting in the streets and like trying to burn shit down because they hate Muslim people, you know?
Said, quote, "These verdicts are a huge blow to government ministers who've tried to portray Palestine Action as a violent group to justify banning it under badly drafted terrorism legislation," unquote. The last remaining nuclear arms control treaty between the United States and Russia expired at midnight. The New START treaty put limits on each side's missiles, launchers, and strategic nuclear warheads. In October, President Trump directed the Pentagon to resume testing nuclear weapons for the first time since 1992. The White House has confirmed that high-level talks with Iran over its nuclear program will take place Friday in the nation of Oman, instead of in Turkey as initially planned. Mediators from Qatar, Turkey, and Egypt will propose a deal that includes limits to Iran's enrichment of uranium. Meanwhile, Drop Site News is reporting senior U.S. military officials has informed the leadership of a key U.S. ally in the Middle East that President Trump could authorize a U.S. attack on Iran this weekend. Strikes could reportedly start as early as Sunday if the U.S. decides to move forward. On Wednesday, President Trump renewed his threat to attack Iran. He was speaking with NBC's Tom Yamas.
Should the supreme leader in Iran be worried right now?
I would say he should be very worried, yeah. He should be.
In more news from Iran, CNN's reporting Nobel laureate Narges Mohammadi has gone on hunger strike in prison, where she's been held since her arrest in December for joining a memorial service for a lawyer and human rights activist who was found dead in his office in Iran. There are new revelations about an Abu Dhabi royal purchasing a stake in the Trump family's cryptocurrency company, World Liberty Finance.
The world is fucking falling apart, huh? Iran's out of control. What are we also doing here, by the way? Cryptocurrency needs to be outlawed. I'm over it, by the way. Donald Trump is this, by the way, taking bribes in cryptocurrency, and it's pretty much all but been proven. And cryptocurrency needs to be illegal.
Days before President Trump's second inauguration. The Wall Street Journal report.
Oh, you mean Bitcoin, the thing that's mainly been used to be as currency in sex trafficking and the purchase of CSAM? Yeah, dude, we should leave that to be legal. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sheikh Tamim bin Zayed Al Nahyan, known as the Spy Sheikh, purchased a 49% stake in World Liberty Financial for $500 million. Months later, the Trump administration gave the United Arab Emirates access to tightly guarded artificial intelligence chips. As part of the deal, $31 million was funneled into entities affiliated with the family of Steve Witkoff, the U.S. envoy to the Middle East, who's also a co-founder of World Liberty Financial. His son, Zach Witkoff, is currently the CEO of World Liberty Financial. In response, Congressmember Ro Khanna announced he's investigating the deal between World Liberty Financial and Abu Dhabi Royal. In a letter to Zach Witkoff, Khanna wrote, quote, "These arrangements are not just a scandal, but may even represent a violation of multiple laws and the United States Constitution." We'll speak with Congressmember Ro Khanna after headlines. The Washington Post laid off more than 300 journalists, almost a third of all of its employees, dismantling its sports.
Crush UFC White House shit and go streaking. Yeah, do it.
News and international coverage. The Washington Post Newspaper Guild said in a statement, quote, "In just the last 3 years, the Post's workforce has shrunk by roughly 400 people. Continuing to eliminate workers only stands to weaken the newspaper, drive away readers, and undercut the Post's mission to hold power to account without fear or favor."
Oh, Bush, yeah.
"And provide critical information for communities across the region, country, and world," unquote. A reporter dedicated to covering Amazon was among the staffers laid off. The Washington Post is owned by Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. The company recently spent $40 million to purchase the rights to a film about First Lady Melania Trump, then spent an additional $35 million to promote it, making the documentary the most expensive in history. And a new report by Human Rights Watch says almost 3/4 of the world's population is currently living under autocracy. The report warned the United States, China, and Russia are, quote, led by leaders who share open disdain for norms.
Shocking.
And, quote, wield considerable economic, military, and diplomatic power, unquote.
Unless I'm mistaken. Oh, you got President G on the fucking screen. Amy, what are you doing? Amy, what are you doing? You can call it an autocracy all you fucking want.
In reference
It's called a dictatorship of the proletariat. Thank you fucking very much.
to the U.S., the report said, quote, Trump's second administration
Winnie the Pooh. There's an autocrat.
has been marked from the start by blatant disregard for human rights and egregious violation. This is Philippe Balopian, the executive director of Human Rights Watch.
Undermining the trust in elections, the sanctity of elections, going after the judiciary and judges, going after journalists, going after political opponents, going after universities, going after big law firms, going after civil society foundations that are quick to be labeled domestic terrorists. And so we see a sort of very hostile environment in the US and a very rapid decline of the quality of democracy in this country.
And those are some of the headlines. This is Democracy Now!, democracynow.org, The War and Peace Report. I'm Amy Goodman.
And I'm Narmeen Sheikh. Welcome to our listeners and viewers across the country and around the world.
Thanks for watching Democracy Now! On YouTube. Subscribe to the channel and turn on
She must be stiff as a board on that couch, yeah.
So Trump's war in Minnesota, it looks far from over, but the people that live there, they just landed a heavy blow to Trump's stormtroopers. Right, starting with the fact that yesterday they waved goodbye to a whole lot of federal troopers.
I have announced effective immediately, we will draw down 700 people.
Dude, Jabba the Hutt. I didn't realize he was in the administration.
Effective today.
That, of course, is Trump's board.
Fucking walking thumb.
Are Tom Homan, and as for the reason he's pulling those guys out, I'll let his boss explain.
Did that come from you? Yes, it did. But it didn't come from me because I just wanted to do it. We are waiting for them to release prisoners, give us the murderers that they're
Pizza the Hut,
and all of the bad people, drug dealers, all of the bad people. But we've gotten a lot of them out. So crime now in Minnesota, crime now in Minneapolis is down. Crime in all cities is down.
Now, while it's true that crime is down nationwide, it didn't just start plummeting everywhere that Trump sent his secret police. The crime's actually been going down for several years now, and in Minneapolis in particular, the record's kind of mixed. You've got certain things like homicide, burglary, breaking and entering, and destruction of property declining from last year, but other violent crimes like assault offenses, sex offenses, and motor vehicle theft, they've gone up. Plus, you also have to consider the many ways that the federal surge has impeded regular law enforcement by causing civil unrest, overloading 911 dispatchers, and clogged up the federal courts and jails. Hell, even the Minnesota fraud case that kicked this whole shitstorm off there, it's been thrown into disarray by Trump's chaos regime, right? Because CBS reports that the 4 prosecutors who are leading it, they won't be in court at the next trial because they've
would go so hard, yeah.
U.S. Attorney's Office in Minnesota. And you've got sources citing a number of reasons for their departure, including caseload management, structural issues with the office, the Trump administration's influence on the office, and concerns related to Operation Metro Surge. So whereas the office had 70 assistant U.S. attorneys under Biden, now under Trump, it's only got as few as 17. And so Trump's DOJ, they've tried to fill the ranks with prosecutors from neighboring districts, even from Michigan, as well as from DHS and the military. But even some of those people, they're not happy with their new assignments, which is then how you get that lawyer who told a judge on Tuesday, quote, this job sucks, and then asked to be held in contempt so she could just get some sleep. But of course, the facts be damned, Trump has still declared victory in Minnesota, just like he declared victory in D.C. And just like the National Guard are still in the Capitol, some 2,300 federal agents will remain in the Minneapolis area after these 700 leave, compared to the measly 80 who were there before December. Also, I'll say, notably with all this, when you had NBC's Tom Yamas asking Trump what he learned from Minneapolis, his answer was ambiguous.
Maybe we can use a little bit of a softer touch, but you still have to be tough. These are criminals. We're dealing with really hard criminals.
But you also had Trump seeming to suggest that going forward, if mayors or governors don't want his goons in their state, he won't actually send them there.
I say they have to ask and they have to say, please. I don't want to go and force ourselves into a city, even if their numbers are terrible.
Which cities are you headed to next?
We have 5 cities that we're looking at very strongly. But we want to be invited.
Now, of course, that is Donald Trump. And with Trump, his word's worth about as much as the pumpkin-colored makeup on his skin. But I will say this shift in tone, it does match some of the reporting that we've seen, most notably about what may be a rift between him and Stephen Miller. Right? Because you have White House officials telling the Wall Street Journal that Stephen Miller has been an architect in almost every boundary-pushing effort in Trump's second term. The boat strikes in the Caribbean. Miller, the enlistment of the FBI and immigration enforcement. Miller, having the State Department pressure other countries to accept migrants. Miller, the whole policy of going into Democratic cities and indiscriminately rounding up people regardless of their criminal records. Miller, the target of 3,000 arrests per day, the $50,000 bonus.
Stephen Miller when Trump doesn't like his bullshit.
9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9.
bonuses for new recruits, the raids at day laborer spots like Home Depot. Miller. I mean, according to the journal, he personally drafted or edited every executive order that the president has signed. Right, he pushed to invoke the Alien Enemies Act to deport people to El Salvador. He pushed to invoke the Insurrection Act in Minneapolis. And then you have sources claiming he was the one who actually started the whole Renee Good as a domestic terrorist assassin narrative, even though he blames Border Patrol for feeding him bad information. And actually, after the shooting, senior officials debated whether to even continue the crackdown in Minneapolis.
He blamed Border Control for feeding him bad information. Homie, you got eyes? You got a cell phone? We all saw that shit moments after it happened. What are you talking about?
Miller was right there, reportedly arguing that Trump should deploy even more agents, not less. Now, with all that, I'll say, one, in no way does this absolve Donald Trump from anything. He's the president. He's the person who ultimately gets to decide things. And also with that, two, I'm not even saying that Trump's deeply emotionally bothered by the response to Good or Preddy's murders. In fact, this is what he had to say to Yamas about them.
Well, look, I'm not happy with the two incidents. He was not an angel, and she was not an angel. You know, you look at some tapes from back, but still, I'm not happy with what happened there, but I'm going to always be with our great people of law enforcement.
You mentioned Renee Good and Alex Preddy not being angels. Do you think any of that justified what happened to them, though?
No, I don't. It should have not happened. You know who feels worse about it than anybody? The people of ICE.
You know, with all this, if we believe the journal sources, Trump is aware of how bad the shootings looked, and he is aware of the polling. And so they say that he's told advisors that he wasn't comfortable with how far Miller has gone on some fronts, and that business officials are calling and complaining to him about longtime workers being thrown out of the country. Also, of course, a big thing that people have been talking about are a few high-profile manosphere bros kind of wincing at the optics of these immigration policies. Or with that including most recently Andrew Schultz, who we talked about, though the one that Yamas asked Trump about was Joe Rogan.
You don't want militarized people in the streets just roaming around, snatching people up, many of which turn out to actually be U.S. citizens that just don't have their papers on them. Are we really going to be the Gestapo? Where's your papers?
Yeah, I want to see them have only Spanish-speaking Venezuelans on their knees as they fucking point guns to the back of their heads. What, you're telling me that citizens are getting arrested? Douchebag. Fucking gorilla ass motherfucker.
What's your response to him?
Well, look, first of all, he's a great guy.
Dude, shut the fuck up, Joe Rogan.
We had a tremendous success.
Now, I want to see that 10-year-old girl that's in the detainment center to be stabbed repeatedly until she dies. You know? That's okay. But you're telling me they shot white people?
Before the election, I think it was his biggest interview ever, and
I'd love an afternoon on Joe Rogan. You know what? I would purposefully get up at 6 a.m. and spend the whole day just ruminating until I'm pissed, like doing like a job all day until I'm mad, and go directly from that to Joe Rogan show. I would love that. I would fucking love that. I think I would be the most combative person he's ever had on that fucking show. I would love it. I would have a fucking field day with it. Just let me fucking loose. Let me say some shit that'll get me canceled. I don't care. Let me do it.
300 million people. It was very good. I spoke to him 3 days ago. We had a great conversation. Just had a good conversation. I think he's a great guy, and I think he likes me too.
So, you know, not really an actual answer to the question that was asked. So actually, if anything, I'll say with that answer, it kind of shows that maybe he's scared of these audiences turning on him. Because whether Don and Joe, they're still buddy-buddy, and my belief is that, you know, these guys, these podcasters, they'll kiss the ring if the polling goes the other way. The polling right now, it does not look good for Trump, right? A new Marist survey just came out, and it is brutal. You had 56% of people disapproving of his job performance overall, including 51% who strongly disapprove, while just 39% approve. And on immigration specifically, right, which in the election cycle was his winning issue, 2/3 of Americans say ICE has gone too far, an 11-point increase since last summer. But Trump's response to all this, it's been the same as it's always been.
Well, I don't believe the polls, for one thing. The polls are almost dishonest, almost as dishonest as some of the reporters themselves.
Now, with that, I will say, although the
Oh, let me get that fucking soundbite for when he claims that the polls say that people want voter ID. Let me get that clip. Come on. The polls, they're fake, frankly. None of them are real, except for the one I saw that said voter ID, only voting in person, no more mail-in voting. That one I like very much. I think I'm going to use it to take over the elections. In fact, why have elections?
The polls are definitely not fake. They can be a little misleading if you only look at the broad overall numbers. Because when you narrow it down to just Republicans, their support, it remains fucking ironclad despite everything that's happened over the past year. 85% of them approve of Trump's performance in general, and roughly 80% approve of how he's handled the economy and foreign policy. And then on things like immigration, almost 3/4 think that ICE is doing a good job, and 77% say that ICE is making Americans safer. But all of that said, a big key thing is that Trump has lost support among younger people, Latinos, and independents, and these are demographics that help push him over the line in 2024. In fact, with every single
He's only got to lose like 2 million votes. That's not that much.
I was asked there, independents aligned.
He had what, 80 million votes? So what, 3% of his vote has to go away? It's not a lot. It's not a very big window he's got.
Democrats, often overwhelmingly. But then with all that, to the extent that Donald Trump does believe these numbers are real, he doesn't blame anything that he's actually done. Instead, he insisted over and over in this interview that objectively, his policies are amazing and they're perfect. And if people saw them objectively, he would be polling at 100%. So this problem can't be his policies. It must be his messaging.
I think we do a phenomenal job, but I don't think we're good at public relations.
What does that mean? You've said that a couple times now. What do you mean by that?
We don't sell the great job that we're doing. We don't do a good public relations job. That's why I'm doing the interview with you today.
We appreciate
I'm trying to
it.
help my people. PR, public relations.
And going back to the murders of
PR, public relations. Speaking of public relations, someone pointed out something funny about the Kamala HQ site. Headquarters 67. I swear to God, if this fucking woman gets elected is the candidate, I'm done. I'm driving into a lake. Okay. I can't do this, dude.
Renee Good, now it's Freddie. He thinks that's just bad PR.
2 people. It's bad. I hate it. I hate even talking about it.
I hate it.
2 people out of tens of thousands. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And you get bad publicity. Nobody talks about all of the murderers that were taken out of our country. Each vote.
Because no one cares. If they're murderers, they're already caught and sitting in the prison system. And all you're doing, and by the way, is the majority of people that you see that are like murder, sexual assault with their stupid little fucking papers that they hold up. These are people that are already sitting in prison, by the way. And they're essentially freeing them. That's what they're doing. They're saying, oh, out of prison. And then back to your country. They don't go to prison in the country where they send them. Like, you know that, right? You just freed murderers and pedophiles. That's what you've done. Good job. Good job.
That we knock out, we save 25,000 American lives.
And then even on the economy and inflation, Trump says that's just bad PR too.
Polls on the economy aren't they're not great.
They should be great.
They should be. So why aren't they? If you believe that,
I don't know. I don't.
Are people's expectations too high, or is it just too expensive to live in America?
I just, again, don't think we're selling it properly. We've done a great job.
Whatever Trump says right now, it looks like Americans just aren't buying whatever the fuck it is he's selling. And with that, you should expect that when they and you make yourselves clear at the ballot box this November, it seems very likely that Trump is going to give those results the same label that he's given the polls. Fake.
Take a look at Detroit. Take a look at Philadelphia. Take a look at Atlanta. There are some areas that are unbelievably corrupt. I could give you plenty more too. I say that we cannot have corrupt elections. If they don't want voter ID, that means they want to cheat. We can't allow cheating in elections. Now, if we need to put in federal controls as opposed to state controls, remember this. They're really an agent.
Will you trust the results of the midterms if Republicans lose control of Congress?
I will, if the elections are honest.
But also with that, the possibility that Republicans lose control of Congress, it became even more likely with the Supreme Court now making a ruling that paves the way for California's new congressional map that could give Democrats 5 more House seats. Because yesterday, the Supreme Court rejected an emergency appeal that the California Republican Party had filed in an attempt to block the map from taking effect. A map that California voters overwhelmingly approved to counter Trump's undemocratic efforts to make red states redistrict to give Republicans more seats. And it was a map that almost immediately California Republicans filed a lawsuit against, arguing that the map was unconstitutional because the state had engaged in illegal racial gerrymandering to redraw lines that favored Latinos over other groups of voters. But then last month, you saw a federal court rejecting the Republicans' attempt to block the voter-approved map from taking effect. A 3-judge panel ruling that there wasn't enough evidence to prove Democrats had drawn the map with racial intent, arguing that the ballot measure was explicitly presented to voters as a political gerrymander designed to flip 5 Republican-held seats, and claiming that voters were clearly motivated by political partisanship, not race. And so then, after taking that out, you had the California GOP asking the Supreme Court to block the lower court's ruling and reinstate the old congressional maps while the merits of the case played out, effectively trying to reverse the explicit will of millions of voters. The fact that the Supreme Court has rejected that appeal is incredibly significant because California is one of the few blue states that has redrawn its congressional maps in the gerrymandering arms race that Trump kicked off. At the Virginia state legislature, they also passed a very similar bill that would let residents vote on a ballot initiative to redraw congressional maps and give Democrats a better shot at another 4 seats. But last week, what you saw is that a federal judge blocked that map from going to voters, ruling in favor of a Republican challenge, alleging that Democrats failed to follow the correct procedure. And actually, while the fate of that map is in the hands of the Virginia Supreme Court, a very different battle is playing out in Maryland, which is the only other blue state that's waded into the gerrymandering battle. And there, just this week, you had the state house approving a new map that could add.
It sounds like the Dems are going to end up on top on this.
Though Democrats in the Senate, they widely opposed the measure, arguing that it could backfire and actually end up costing them another seat. And then, of course, with this, it's important to remember the Republicans are still busy. 4 red states have already redrawn their maps to give Republicans an edge, and Florida Governor Ron DeSantis just announced that he was kicking off a similar effort to meet Trump's demands. And then actually, while we're talking about Trump again, we should talk about the part that he's playing in the search for Nancy Guthrie in a different piece of news, right? The missing mom of Today Show anchor Savannah Guthrie. Because Savannah's 84-year-old mom went missing from her home near Tucson, Arizona 5 days ago, and the local authorities say that it looks like she was taken by force. She was last seen Saturday night around 9:30 p.m., and after she didn't show up at church the following morning, her family called 911. And then when the authorities, they found Nancy's personal belongings like her car, phone, and wallet still at her house, as well as there being a trail of blood outside, they began to suspect foul play, especially because it's believed to be unlikely that she wandered away on her own. Nancy Guthrie reportedly was sharp mentally, but she had some mobility issues that left her unable to walk more than 50 yards unassisted. And so that's why you're seeing the local sheriff reiterating that this is not a dementia-related incident. Though still, you had search and rescue teams working all day and night following Nancy's disappearance to make sure that this wasn't a case of an elderly person walking off on their own. Right, and then you had investigators canvassing the neighborhood and asking people in the area to review doorbell cameras and any other possible recordings for potential sightings. And all of this leading to the local sheriff's office saying yesterday detectives believe Mrs. Guthrie was taken against her will, possibly during the overnight hours. But then adding,
oh yeah, I'm behind on the Guthrie thing. I'll be honest with you.
There's currently no evidence to suggest that this was targeted, and so the authorities began working to find out key details that could lead.
Apparently a ransom note. We'll get to it.
Nancy or her kidnapper. So things like what she was wearing.
Not that I don't care. I care about a woman being taken. It just has not reached my FYP.
When she was taken, whether
FYP has been Americans getting murdered by the government. I haven't heard much about this situation, to be perfectly honest. It does kind of sound like might be like the brother-in-law or something. I don't know. We'll see.
She was put in a vehicle and how many suspects might have been involved. Right. And then yesterday, on the 4th day after Nancy disappeared, Savannah Guthrie shared a video where she sat alongside her siblings addressing the reports of an unverified ransom note, as well as pleading with her mother's kidnappers to release her or at least prove that she's still alive.
She's 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. She lives in constant pain. She is without any medicine. She needs it to survive. She needs it not to suffer. We too have heard the reports about a ransom letter in the media. As a family, we are doing everything that we can. We are ready to talk. However, we live in a world where voices and images are easily manipulated. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her.
Now, currently, there are reportedly no suspects, though there was a brief rumor that Nancy's son-in-law could have been involved, but that was then quickly shot down by the local sheriff's department. And while you have investigators thinking that she is still...
apparently that's not the case.
Alive with her health issues, we don't know how long that will remain the case. In fact, you even saw the sheriff saying time is not on our side, and that was already 2 days ago. As these days have drug on and on with no answers, Nancy's disappearance, it's getting more and more national attention. We even had Trump chiming in yesterday on Truth Social saying, I spoke with Savannah Guthrie and let her know that I am directing all federal law enforcement to be at the family's and local law enforcement's complete disposal immediately. We are deploying all resources to get her mother home safely. That was also a sentiment echoed by FBI Director Kash Patel, who, according to sources for Axios, is directing, quote, all resources possible to help and is prepared to go if the situation warrants. So there, it's important to note that Arizona officials are still leading the investigation, and the FBI at this point is only playing a supporting role. With Attorney General Pam Bondi, who has reportedly known Savannah Guthrie for a very long time, saying that she's receiving constant updates after speaking with Savannah.
Yeah, Pam, where is she then?
Phone yesterday. And so ultimately, at this point, it ends up being kind of a waiting game to see what happens with the
Get her, Pam.
investigators as they do their job. And
get at it, Pam.
For answers, obviously.
See how good you are at your job, Pam.
our hearts and our well wishes
Pamela,
for Savannah and her siblings, and we hope that her mom's found and brought home safely. And then there's more that we've got to dive into in just a minute, but first let me thank a sponsor and say, fact. VPNs are crucial when it comes to your cybersecurity, whether you like it or not. And yet another great example, a billing platform recently exposed nearly 180,000 personal records, names, emails, phone numbers, even tax IDs, just sitting in an unsecured database. Great. And most of the people affected, they'll never even know it happened. That's exactly why today's sponsor, NordVPN, is something I actually use and care about. NordVPN, the news, there's two really big things we need to talk about, starting with the Washington Post just announcing absolutely massive layoffs. And when I say massive, I mean like over a third of the Post's overall staff's been cut. We're talking more than 300 of the roughly 800 journalists in that newsroom. Even laid off a reporter who's in the middle of a war zone, who's in Ukraine covering the war with Russia. Because yesterday morning in a newsroom call, you had executive editor Matt Murray announcing the layoffs, which he described as a strategic reset that was overdue in light of what he called difficult and even disappointing realities. Saying the Washington Post has been losing too much money for too long while also failing to meet the needs of readers. While they didn't provide the public with basic information about its newsroom, subscriptions, or other financial data, you had Murray saying that the paper would be making a number of enormous cuts and major overhauls across numerous departments, and some functions will be just shuttered altogether, including the entire sports desk. So there, some reporters will stay on to write feature stories. Also similar, the book section will be shut down.
Does the Washington Post really need a sports section? Sorry. Look, don't get me wrong. I want good press out there. Not that I think the Washington Post is good press, but when you look at the list of them, they're probably not in the top 5 of worst. But like news or sports news is handled pretty much exclusively by people online anymore. And ESPN, I don't know if they really need it. You know what I mean?
Down in the newspaper's signature daily news podcast, Post Report.
Yeah, they don't need a fucking podcast. I mean, the book section thing kind of sucks, but
this has been canceled. Also, beyond that,
I don't know who's going to the book section of the Washington Post for their reading tips.
National desk will be shrunk down dramatically.
And if they are, I wouldn't take them anyway. Jeff Bezos owns the newspaper.
While some foreign bureaus will remain open, others are shuttering entirely. Right, with the Cairo bureau chief, for example, announcing on X that all of the Middle East correspondents and editors have been laid off. But also, some of the steepest cuts were made to the Metro desk, which covers DC, Maryland, and Virginia. Or with Murray describing the move as restructuring, though you had an anonymous Metro staffer who lost their job telling NPR that only around a dozen of the 40 people employed at the desk weren't fired. And very notably, we've seen multiple reports that all staff photographers were cut as well. And so with all these changes, it looks like the Post could be trying to set itself up to primarily be a federal paper that focuses on the U.S. government and American politics rather than a holistic legacy media outlet. Right? And you have multiple former editors telling NPR that it looks like the paper's trying to compete more with specialized publications like Politico and Punchbowl News instead of the New York Times. And also, I think a big thing we have to touch on is while these
guys, hold on, I have some real breaking news. Guys, RFK has got some really breaking news for us. Oh my God. Guys, we got the answers now. We have the answers.
Dr. Pollen up at Harvard has cured schizophrenia using keto diets. There are studies right now that I saw 2 days ago where people lose their bipolar diagnosis by changing their diet. It's not only affecting our physical health, it's affecting our mental health as well. And we're asking people now, eat real food, right? Eat protein.
First off, make real food. Second, you guys hear that? Yeah, you can cure schizophrenia and bipolar disorder with keto. See, you vegans, you've had it wrong this entire time. You need to eat more only meat. Not no meat, only meat. That'll cure all your problems. And make you sweat fat. Fucking hate this country, dude. I hate it so fucking much. Oh my God. I don't care. RFK is going in the fucking concentration camp. We're gonna make him run on a hamster wheel indefinitely. While he only eats asparagus. No seasoning. I'm done. I'm done, dude. I'm gonna be like one of those creative judges. You know, you ever seen those guys with TikToks of like the creative punishment judges that like always have this like really, they're like, oh, you know, you like to drink and drive. So I can't even think of a good fucking joke on that one. Oh, you like to steal Nintendo Switches. So we're going to have people throw Nintendo Switches at you until you die. Kind of judges. Oh, you pirated Mario? We're going to have an Italian man jump on your head. let me at him.
These layoffs and restructuring, they're absolutely huge. It's also not entirely unexpected. For the paper, it's been seriously struggling over the last few years, both culturally and economically. So, we saw things like in late 2023, Jeff Bezos, who owns the paper, hired British media executive Will Lewis as publisher and CEO to help the Post become more profitable amid falling audiences and subscriptions. But Lewis's tenure, it's been plagued with controversies, and he has consistently been at odds with his own newsroom, which he has increasingly distanced himself from, avoiding major meetings and announcements, even the one yesterday. And, despite a series of experimental changes, including a big focus on AI, Lewis has failed to come up with a cohesive strategy for the paper's future, and the outlets just continue to struggle. And so over the last 2 years, there have been numerous rounds of layoffs, and many staffers have taken buyouts that Lewis pushed, encouraging employees to take the offer if they do not feel aligned with the company's plan. And so all of that, it already gutted the paper that Bezos' unfathomable amount of money once revitalized, with the Washington Post Guild saying that its workforce has shrunk by roughly 400 people in the last 3 years. And then, of course, you can't forget the moves that Bezos has made in recent years that have really alienated a lot of the audience. Right? Last year, for example, he changed the paper's once esteemed opinion section to have a much more conservative tilt. And then, of course, there was his decision to kill the paper's planned endorsement of Kamala Harris in 2024, which is a move that resulted in mass cancellations of subscribers. So that's also why you have a lot of people blaming Bezos himself for the layoffs, arguing that he is literally one of the richest men in the world with an estimated $260 billion, and so he could easily prevent this if he really wanted to. Bezos, for his part, he's just remained silent through this whole thing. He has actively refused to respond to letters from multiple reporting teams pleading against the cuts, and he wasn't even...
Jeff Bezos' punishment will be a old librarian beats him with a rolled up newspaper until he has succumbed to his injuries.
On the call announcing these huge layoffs and historic changes. And so that's only prompted even more outrage and allegations that Bezos is abandoning the Post after driving it into the...
Just have small Amazon packages thrown at him.
Right? And so you have
till the end of time.
A statement that if Bezos is no longer willing to invest in the mission that has defined this paper...
No. I know. Wait, hold on. I have something to add. I want to stick with the librarian hitting with a roll-up newspaper, but then the other part of it is he has to order all of his essentials and food from Amazon, but he doesn't have Prime, and every package he orders gets stolen.
Serve the millions of people who depend on Post journalism. The Post deserves a steward that will. And that was also echoed.
Right as it's sitting right out of his reach of his jail cell, a guy runs in and goes, "Ha bitch," and then takes it and runs off.
Editor Marty Maron, who accused Bezos of exacerbating the newspaper's troubles through ill-conceived decisions, suggesting that Bezos' pro-Trump pivot is what drove away readers and subscribers in the first place, also claiming that the layoffs were just part of Bezos' sickening effort to curry favor with Trump, and arguing that these firings are just going to backfire and result in even more canceled subscriptions.
Yeah, I mean, the Washington Post is doomed.
Inclined to believe
it's been doomed since the Kamala Harris thing.
A lot of the bad that we're seeing right now, it's Bezos. Yeah, he's getting on his knees. He's breaking out those knee pads. This man, in addition to having companies that have government contracts, which is a huge thing, also just released...
Well, who else is going to pay for his failed AI venture that no one's making money off of if he doesn't suck Trump's dick?
Propaganda piece Melania movie that they paid tens of millions of dollars for that many are just calling a bribe. Within the same week that a third of his newspaper's journalists were fired. Bezos didn't luck into his success. He knows what he's doing. I think this is all happening at a time where it's more important than ever to invest in trusted sources and fact-based reporting to combat the constant growing flow of misinformation. And then actually on the note of countering misinformation, another big piece of news we got to talk about. Prediction markets like Kalshi and Polymarket, they're spreading fake and misleading news, potentially impacting betting markets and also raising serious...
Online gambling needs to be made illegal.
Concerns about American democracy. Right? Because if you're not familiar, prediction markets, they allow people to bet on the outcome of...
Cryptocurrency and online gambling, gone. They both need to go.
News event. And so we're talking about everything.
Like, I don't care if some people can responsibly enjoy these things. I don't care. I don't care. We don't need it. What do we need this shit in society for? Really, though, what do we need this for? You know what? Fine. You want to bet on fucking local elections? Great. You got to get in your fucking car and you got to drive your ass to a fucking casino and then you can do whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. I don't care. I truly don't care what you gamble on if it's in a casino, in a place that's monitored, in a place that does age verification, and in a place that handles currency and it also does tracking of currency because of national and state regulations. You want to do that? I don't fucking care, dude. The fact that you can vote on whether Donald Trump will shit his pants in the next staff meeting is insane. What are we doing?
Election results.
What's on Polymarket right now? I will say Polymarket, you know, we've looked at it for elections before, and all in all, I will say it's a decent forecasting tool. Yeah, dude. Hey guys, should we vote on the US striking Iran? Or on whether the new Fed chair is going to be made? Oh, guys, we can tweet. We can make a bet on how many tweets Elon Musk will have. So I can hit parlay. Yeah. Oh, we can vote on government shutdown. Guys, we can quote on will Jesus Christ return before 2027. Guys, we can bet on U.S. anti-cartel ground operation invasion of Mexico by March 31st. Isn't this cool? Oh, what's their RNC? Oh, they got Gavin and AOC as the leaders. I don't think Gavin is as popular as people think he is. I think that like Gavin hits a lot of points for a lot of Dems, but I don't think people want Gavin Newsom. I don't think he's likable. He's too much of a douchebag. He's too much of a fucking like LA elite. I don't think people like him. I could be wrong on that, but I don't think I don't think average, you know, I don't think fucking, you know, your average Minnesotan, I was going to say, you know, Democratic Midwesterner, but we'll go with Minnesotan. I don't think they fucking want Gavin Newsom, especially after his comments about, oh, well, I know that I said ICE was Gestapo, but I don't think that anymore on Ben Shapiro's podcast. I think shit like that's going to kill him. But yeah, this shit should be illegal. Venezuelan leader by end of 2026, they have one.
In sports to when Jesus will come back and exactly how long Caroline Leavitt's press conference will last. In these markets specifically, Kalshi and Polymarket, they've exploded over the last year or so, gaining widespread mainstream popularity, and they're handling billions of dollars in weekly trading. And a part of that enormous success is because these platforms have marketed themselves as legitimate, responsible financial institutions and truth machines driven by hard data, where they claim that they cut through the noise of the news, providing more accurate information about the state of the world and estimations of
no, they don't.
Future events because their data gauges what ordinary people think will happen. And specifically,
like I said, I will say that, believe it or not, especially when it came to Mamdani this year, I will say that I trusted Polymarket's numbers more than any polls. The polls were real shifty. I wasn't a big fan of the polls. And that's the way it is for every election. You know, like we saw with Kamala, right? We saw it with Kamala. All the way up to the day of election, every poll you looked at was like, oh, Donald Trump's about to get his ass handed to him. Oh, Donald Trump's fucked. Oh, yeah, Donald Trump's not winning. Kamala Harris is winning. According to all these polls, she's up 5 points. How could she lose? The Polymarket was holding steady with the Trump razor edge. And they were right. I'll give them that. They were right. Now, if we could just use that technology to do polls, that'd be sick.
reporters arguing that the pooled wisdom of the
but no money involved
is a more reliable source for
you can do a public service.
Media,
that's all I'm allowing you to do.
Commentators and experts, which carry their own biases. They also say that people who bet money are incentivized to filter out emotional bias and look for objective data because they have skin in the game. And so the financial stakes here, they add a level of accountability that those other sources lack. But then you also have many critics hitting back, arguing that there is no reason to think that these metrics are a better predictor of the future, saying one, the platforms represent a very small subset of the public, people who are willing and wealthy enough to place bets. Also, research has shown that these sites are dominated by young men who have higher risk appetites and are prone to gambling. And as places like Better Markets explains, the data from these platforms don't offer any kind of ultimate truth because absent inside information, the users on these sites are no more likely to know whether a candidate will win an election or a team will win a game than anyone else. Right? And last, people using these markets are insider trading, which is a very real concern, but that's also a separate deep dive, but they don't have any special knowledge otherwise. And so separate from the concern of insider trading, we're talking about people that are making bets off of their own information, which they presumably got from the same experts, commentators, and outlets that prediction market supporters claim are biased. But then also beyond that, these markets are incredibly susceptible to manipulation. A well-funded person or group, they could easily make a bet so big that it skews the odds of a prediction market. Then they could turn that around and try to use that shift as proof that the event they bet on is becoming much more likely. And the implications there, they're alarming for a number of reasons, but they become especially alarming when it comes to elections. Say, for example, a bad actor places a huge bet in an election that artificially sways the odds to make it look like a certain candidate has increased support or is more likely to win than their opponent. If we all of a sudden take that as a real indication of who's going to win an election, which these markets say we should, it creates a bandwagon effect. Very quickly, you have even legacy media outlets reporting about the spike, which gives it even more credibility and creates momentum for that candidate, which then gives them a higher profile and attracts more supporters. And then all of that manipulation, it could prompt donors to flock to a candidate or pull funds from someone, and it further advances different campaigns. But then some voters deciding to vote a certain way because all of a sudden they want a monetary gain, and others maybe actually just not even voting because it looks like the election.
I do think this, all of this is what's fucked everything up, though. I do think that there is a way that this is moving the scale, not only politically, but within sports. If you look at the huge bust they had of the NBA at the end of last season, where it was showing that people like players would see a parlay that's like, LeBron James will only play 22 minutes in today's game. I'm not saying LeBron James did this. Other players did. I don't believe he was one of the ones who got caught. But then, like, LeBron would fucking, have his buddy throwing I just don't know NBA players. I want that to be clear. I just don't know NBA players. So I'm just going with the only one I know that's, like, still alive and playing. But so he would have his buddies or even himself anonymously through crypto accounts place bets on that fucking parlay, and then when he hit his 22 minutes, all of a sudden his ankle hurts. All of a sudden, oh man, I rolled my ankle. I can't play anymore today. Oh guys, I'm limping. I hurt my ankle. That's literally what they found out players were doing. And the what I am saying, though, the only part of that is real is literally one of the bets that was proven to be fraudulent from the player was exactly that. It was the amount of time X player was supposed to play in the game, and then he mysteriously got injured at that exact time more than once. Chauncey Billups, by the way. Chauncey Billups, one of the few good Colorado basketball players running card games for the Mafia. What fucking year is this? I'm sorry, gambling needs to be illegal. I'm fine with it in casinos, dude. I don't think you need to limit the casinos even. But you gotta make people drive to a fucking casino, okay? You gotta, like, put a little wall there. You gotta make it a little bit harder. UFC 2. Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure UFC betting is so unbelievably unregulated.
A foregone conclusion, but it can basically
because it's full of these kind of fucking
self-fulfilling
people.
Prophecy where a candidate can win an election just because one person bet so big on their victory that it skewed the odds. And so more and more, it looks like these are incredibly powerful tools for political influence, and that's especially true because you have experts also saying that the very structure of these markets actively incentivizes the spread of misinformation.
Oh, I'm sure.
For one, it gives people a motive to spread unverified claims so that they can manipulate the odds and then directly profit from how the markets react to their manipulation. Or things like shorting a market and then spreading negative rumors to drive prices down. down. And that same logic can be applied to political interference. A bad actor, either domestic or foreign, could similarly profit from spreading misinformation by betting against a candidate and then attacking them with deep fakes or fake news bots to crash their market odds. And that becomes especially alarming given the fact that Kalshi and Polymarket have both actively been caught spreading false claims that could influence their own markets on numerous occasions. Right, despite their claim that prediction markets are more reliable than news media, both platforms have increasingly been wading into the news waters using their social media accounts to pump out tons of content, effectively becoming viral news sources with posts that spread faster and further than verified reporting. And I mean, these accounts, they've been accused of prioritizing engagement over factual accuracy. But as you had a recent Axios report noting, these platforms design content that sparks outrage, big reactions, and rapid sharing, even if that content turns out to be false or misleading. So you have things like a few weeks ago, Polymarket randomly claimed on X that Jeff Bezos told aspiring Gen Z entrepreneurs to start at real-world jobs like McDonald's or Palantir before starting a business. A post, by the way, that is still up, even though it received a community note after Bezos issued a statement rejecting the advice and accusing Polymarket of just making the quote up. Polymarket's Twitter account also posted and then deleted a false claim that Trump had deported so many people from Minnesota that the state was going to lose a congressional seat after the census. That account also incorrectly reported that Iran's regime had lost control of Tehran during a nationwide communications blackout, which was a time when independent reporting on the protests was essentially impossible. And I mean, also amid the chaos over Trump's Greenland threats, Kalshi falsely claimed that the US and Denmark were in technical talks to buy the island. Right? And these platforms, they've also made the fake news problem even worse by giving affiliate badges to influencers who spread false or satirical news. And again, these are just some of the examples. We've also seen Polymarket repeatedly targeting big MAGA ops like Zoran Mamdani and Representative Ilhan Omar with what Axios described as false, misleading, or trollish claims. And that's also a very big thing because both of these platforms have deep ties to Trump world. Donald Trump Jr. is a paid investor to Kalshi as well as an investor in and an unpaid advisor to Polymarket. Now that said, there is not any direct evidence right now that Polymarket or Kalshi is intentionally spreading false information to benefit certain bettors, but we are also talking about a whole market with almost zero oversight, regulation, and transparency. And separate from that, the fact that these platforms have repeatedly spread misinformation and kept so much of it up, it also shows that they are okay with fostering an environment where false information can flourish. And again, that's even when misinformation influences prediction markets that these platforms claim are sources of the ultimate truth. But the next step from that, before we get into our final thing today, I just want to quickly give a congratulations to Matthew E. Because Matt is SeatGeek's latest weekly winner who just scored
what the fuck ever.
Boots are on the ground in Nigeria. Right? And that
oh my God. Dude, today's been so crazy. I keep forgetting Nigeria, that we have fucking soldiers in Nigeria.
is the same African nation where Trump has amplified allegations of Christian genocide.
It's been such a crazy week. I forgot that we had soldiers in Nigeria. What are we doing? What are you doing, GI? You are going to die out here, GI.
Which led him to authorize strikes against extremists in the country on Christmas Day. And now as the United States is getting even more involved, we got to talk about what Trump's getting wrong about the situation in Nigeria and how the country's latest massacre is just one example of that. Really where we need to start is how we got here in the first place. So one of the biggest things you need to know is that certain Christian activists, they've spent years pushing for American intervention in Nigeria. Though I will say more recently, American lawmakers and even celebrities, they've taken up the cause. Right, going back to Trump's first term, you had him designating Nigeria as what's known as a country of particular concern. And that's a label meant for countries where religious freedoms threatened, basically putting them on a short list for sanctions. But then you had the Biden administration lifting Nigeria's designation in 2021. There you had the State Department's Religious Freedom Report noting that mass killings in the country were indiscriminate, affecting both Christians and Muslims. And that determination, it stayed pretty much the same for the remainder of Biden's presidency. But then you had Trump returning to the White House, and this seemingly provided those activists with another opening. And in fact, you had the New York Times reporting that 24 activists from groups dedicated to exposing Christian persecution around the world, they pursued various Trump officials as well as Republicans in Congress. And so in March, for example, you had a Nigerian bishop speaking to the House Subcommittee on Africa, with him telling its members that the experience of the Nigerian Christians today can be summed up as that of a church under Islamist extermination. Right?
They're killing Muslims too, bro.
Happened in the country in July.
Christians want to be fucking oppressed so goddamn badly, dude. They want to be oppressed so fucking badly.
Proof it was one of the most horrific massacres that the country has seen in years. Attackers shot to death, hacked to pieces, and burnt alive at least 100 civilians in a village.
Yeah, they're killing everybody. They're not just killing Christians.
In Nigeria's north central region. It was a mostly Christian village, and the perpetrators, they were believed to have been bandits belonging to one of the country's predominantly Muslim ethnic groups. So these religious organizations on Capitol Hill, they shared stories about the attack in an effort to get the lawmakers' attention. One that really struck a chord with them reportedly was published by the Free Press, which is that outlet that was founded by media executive Barry Weiss, who has more recently come under repeated fire for changes that she's making as the new editor-in-chief of CBS News. But in any case, right, that article, it emphasized that Christians had been killed by Muslims, and then it slammed mainstream media for not paying more attention. It also pointed to figures given by religious religious groups to argue that violence specifically targeting Nigerian Christians for their faith is widespread, and the issue, it quickly picked up steam on Capitol Hill, where you first had Virginia Representative Riley Moore citing the attack when he introduced a House resolution condemning the persecution of Christians in Muslim-majority countries. You then had Texas Senator Ted Cruz introducing a measure calling for sanctions against Nigeria, and finally, you had these groups actually securing a meeting with Trump officials near the White House in late October. It was then, only just a couple of days later, that Trump took to Truth Social to announce that he had officially redesignated Nigeria as a country of particular concern. And he then followed that up by writing, if the Nigerian government continues to allow the killing of Christians, the USA will immediately stop all aid and assistance to Nigeria and may very well go into the now disgraced country, guns a-blazing, to completely wipe out the Islamic terrorists who are committing these horrible atrocities. And then adding, I am hereby instructing our Department of War to prepare for possible action. If we attack, it will be fast, vicious, and sweet, just like the terrorist thugs attack our cherished Christians. Warning, the Nigerian government better move fast. From there, you even had Nicki Minaj posting about the issue on social media, with her actually being invited to speak about the alleged Christian persecution in Nigeria at the United Nations. You also had that same bishop testifying to Congress again, telling the committee, church alone cannot stop the killings. It requires coordinated political, military, and humanitarian intervention. You even had dozens of current and retired NFL players signing an open letter calling on Trump to do more to confront religious persecution in Nigeria. Right in the background, the
it's not religious persecution.
Military began assessing strike options and conducting intelligence gathering surveillance flights over large parts of the country.
They're killing everybody, dude. They're killing everybody. They're killing everybody. This has nothing to do with religion.
And then on Christmas Day, which was reportedly a
does this need to be stopped? Sure. Are we the ones to do it? Most likely not. But to like paint this as like some sort of religious Nicki Minaj-esque fucking, she's the one who like talks about this a lot, fucking problem is insane.
Choice by Trump, it launched an attack involving more than a dozen Tomahawk cruise missiles on what it said were Islamic.
Just guess what? If they were running around and killing only Muslims, they would fucking applaud it. But now, oh, they got a problem.
State target.
Yeah, hide your kids, hide your wife. Yeah, they're killing everybody out here. It's so stupid.
Then writing on Truth Social, the United States.
You realize that ISIS also hates secular Muslims too, right? Like, the ISIS kills everybody. You don't give a shit.
It's launched a powerful and deadly strike against ISIS terrorist scum in northwest Nigeria, who have been targeting and viciously killing primarily innocent Christians at levels not seen for many years and even centuries. And adding, I have previously warned these terrorists that if they did not stop the slaughtering of Christians, there would be hell to pay, and tonight there was. May God bless our military and Merry Christmas to all, including the dead terrorists, of which there will be many more if their slaughter of Christians continues. Now with that, you notably had a spokesperson for Nigeria's Ministry of Foreign Affairs confirming that the strikes had been carried out in cooperation with his government, but you also had him adding, terrorist violence in any form, whether directed at Christians, Muslims, or other communities, remains an affront to Nigeria's values and to international peace and security. Right, and that is the Nigerian government has consistently denied any systematic persecution of Christians, but they've also kind of stopped arguing with the Trump administration while they're under pressure, with the country's national security advisor saying after the strikes, we are not going to get bogged down on narratives. So we've actually seen tension subsiding and increased cooperation. And so last month, high-ranking American officials went to Nigeria to announce increased military cooperation.
Good, yeah.
Between the two nations. And just this week, we had the U.S.
Yeah, it's a problem. But when Israel murders, we're up to 680,000 people, by the way, and that is not a slight estimate. That is not a overproduced number. That is something Israel is starting to agree with now as well. 680,000 people murdered, whether it be from lack of food, whether it be lack of healthcare, whether it be bombs, whether it be bullets, whether it be put in jails and beat to death, whether it be people that have been raped to death. Yes, prisoners have been raped to death in Israeli prisons. Not just one or two either. And then the fucking people marched in the streets to fucking try to make it legal as a form of torture. Insane. That shit happens. Nah, we support it. In fact, we send money to it. We send money to it. In fact, we fund it. Lord, a few Christians get shot.
U.S. military deploying a small military team to Nigeria, the first acknowledgement of boots
on a luxury resort just outside of Tel Aviv. Of course he is.
Telling Reuters that the U.S. team appear to be heavily involved in intelligence gathering to help go.
The DiCaprio thing's hard for me. I'm going to be real. It's hard for me because so many movies I love have Leonardo DiCaprio in them. And I know a lot of people are like, he's not a good actor. I disagree with that. I think I'm not saying every movie. A lot of the movies he's in, great acting. But he's just such a dog shit human being. So it's like It's not like I'm going back and watching old movies, though. I'm not really like an old movie enjoyer.
Terrorist groups. But also, a big thing is if they're only...
I'll be honest, I watched one thing after another. It was on HBO or whatever. It's like fine. I actually think he did a dog shit job in that one.
Christians are going to be leaving a lot of people left to die because there is no real solid evidence that Christians are being killed more frequently than any other religious group. All that's really clear is that a lot of people are being killed. Nigeria isn't technically at war, but more people are killed there than in many war-torn countries.
Oh, Wahlberg hated those Boogie Nights. Yeah, I know. It's hard with actors because it's like who they're portraying on screen isn't really a reflection of them, right? You know, like when you see musicians, right? When I see Kanye like loving Hitler and being crazy, that's a problem, right? Because Kanye, you know, makes music that is a reflection. Music's more of a reflection of yourself, right? So I feel like it's easy when you see like Kanye being a crazy Nazi, you're like, well, I don't want to listen to this anymore. Like it ruined it for me. You know, I used to see you as like the son of a black liberation literal professor and all this stuff, and now I see you as the white supremacy guy. It kind of fucks it up, right? But then when you watch some of these movies, it's not like Leonardo DiCaprio is playing himself in these movies or Mark Wahlberg is playing himself in these movies, so it kind of makes it a little bit harder, right? You're like, God damn, that movie's good. You just have to like cover his face when he's on screen. Oh, yeah, I'm also a Mark Wahlberg hater, but also, what's that fucking movie he's in everybody loves that I also love? The fucking cop movie, the fucking, well, not technically cop movie, but the like Boston gangster movie, The Departed. God, that's a good movie.
In 2025 alone.
Also a movie with Wahlberg. No, wait, I'm thinking, no, wait, is Wahlberg in that one? No, maybe am I thinking of what's his dick? Fuck. No, he's in there. That's right. He's Sergeant Dingham, right. But that movie's full of like a bunch of bad people. Matt Damon, I don't believe is a great guy. Jack Nicholson is an absolute sex pest and sexual deviant. Leonardo DiCaprio, sexual deviant and weird Israel supporter. Mark Wahlberg. Alec Baldwin. I mean, the list is too long for Alec Baldwin. Shooting a woman on set, yelling at his daughter and calling her the N-word in a voicemail. What do you expect, though? It's about Boston. Damon, yeah. It's about Boston. What do you expect, I guess? What was the crazy thing I saw the other day about Boston? Oh, yeah. I've heard there's this outrage of Bad Bunny in Boston because the Patriots are playing in the Super Bowl on Sunday. I don't know if this is true or not because I haven't seen it personally. And in fact, the comments kind of disagreed with the guy, but it was funny because it's like, but he's like, Boston fans are really mad about Bad Bunny. And I was like, yeah, dude, that's nothing. Let's see if I can find it. FOG. Where is it? I'm sure I can't find it. They're at a bar, this like packed bar in Boston, and they're like mad at fucking Kyrie Irving. So someone was burning a Kyrie effigy or Kyrie Irving effigy that's hanging from a noose. Very Boston. That's what I think about Boston.
It's been reported that
people like it's real progressive there. And I'm like, is it?
12,000 people were killed by various violent groups. The victims, they include large numbers of both Christians and Muslims, and there are many different reasons for that violence. There's been what's been described as a jihadist insurgency, mostly in the Northeast and Northwest, which is where most of the people and most of the victims of armed groups are Muslim. But with that, you have at least two main groups operating there that are affiliated with the Islamic State. In the Northwest, you have the Islamic State West Africa Province, which is an offshoot of Boko Haram. And in the Northeast, you have the lesser-known Islamic State Sahel Province. And then on top of all that, also in the Northwest, as well as the North Central regions, you have armed groups often described as bandits, looting, and kidnapping for ransom. And in the North Central region, you also have a lot more violence between predominantly Christian farming communities and mostly Muslim groups of nomadic herders. And you have experts saying that these clashes, they're rooted in competition over land and water, but they are exacerbated by religious and ethnic differences. And similarly, kidnappings targeting priests, for instance, it may seem like an obvious example of religious targeting, but you have many analysts reportedly seeing this as really being more driven by money than religious hatred. And it's apparently because priests are viewed as influential figures whose worshipers or organizations can quickly mobilize funds. And then ultimately with all this, right, data collected by the Armed Conflict Location and Event Data Program, it shows that there were nearly 12,000 attacks against civilians in Nigeria from 2020 until September of last year. And you had 385 of those attacks resulting in 317 deaths being described as targeted events against Christians where Christian identity of the victim was a reported factor. And you also had 196 attacks resulting in 417 deaths, similarly being described as targeting Muslims. And then of course I have to mention, this data, it's far from perfect. Stats relied on for advancing claims of Christian persecution, they're sometimes incredibly dubious. Right, Ted Cruz and Riley Moore, for example, they have cited the work of a Nigerian man who claims to have documented 125,000 Christian deaths in Nigeria since 2009. But his reporting, it's often not double-checked, and it's almost entirely based on secondary sources such as Christian interest groups and Google searches. He also reportedly called for what would likely be considered the ethnic cleansing of a Muslim-majority group in the country. And then even his own flawed methodology, it said that there were at least 60,000 deaths in that same time period among those he described as moderate Muslims. The most recent violence, it's only gone to show how it affects everyone. Right, this last Tuesday, gunmen believed to be with one of the Islamic State affiliated groups. They killed more than 160 people in 2 villages in north central Nigeria. You have local politicians saying the attackers had rounded up residents, bounded their hands behind their backs, and killed them, as well as burned down homes and shops. Residents also telling Reuters that the gunmen were jihadists who often preached in the village, and they demanded that the locals ditch their allegiance to the Nigerian state and switch to Sharia law. And when the villagers pushed back, they said that the militants opened fire. Right, at least one X account with more than 200,000 followers connected the attack to recent kidnappings at a Catholic school and churches, saying they executed 170 Christians for refusing Sharia law. But we've also seen reports that this was a mostly Muslim community, with Nigeria's president saying in a statement, "It is commendable that community members, even though Muslims, refuse to be conscripted into a belief that promotes violence over peace." But yeah, ultimately, that is where we are right now. It is a horrifying, horrible situation. Something does need to be done. But also with that, I think it's important that people realize that it is very complicated, and there are a number of people pushing narratives that are not exactly accurate, or they're outright lies, depending on who's talking. But that, my friends, is where we're going to end today's Thursday Philip DeFranco show. Thank you so much for being a part of another daily dive into the news, though I will also say there is more to watch from here, whether that's last night's Philip DeFranco show that you might not have seen, or the newest Crashing Out podcast I put out that YouTube was so awesome to suppress this morning. I don't even know if they'll let me do an on-screen link, so if it's not there, I got links in the description. Whatever the case may be, I love you faces, and I'll see you right back here next time.
All right. Hold on. Actually, hold on. I know I want to be done with news and Philip DeFranco, but I didn't watch yesterday's, and I saw his Nick Shirley's dumb fucking face on here. So I want to see. Hold on. What are you saying about Here We Are? I want to see what he had to say about Nick Shirley yesterday.
Weeks of chaos in Minnesota, he has now set his sights on California. Right, he's actually just one of several right-wing content creators.
Yeah, did they get the video of people chasing him out though? Dude, that shit's so funny. He tries to go into this medical plaza and they're having an NA meeting in like LA, and this lady just fucking lays into him, and it's so funny. It's so funny. She just fucking lays into him. And he just sits there like, oh, you know what I mean? Like a fucking real Mormon. He's like, oh, I'm so, oh, how dare, I'm just trying to help, guys. It's so fucking funny. I should have saved it. It's so funny. Dude, Nick Shirley's gonna get shot in LA.
Even administration officials who have descended onto the state with similar allegations possibly set the stage for another Minnesota-style crackdown. Right? Because before you had
By the way, I think Nick Shirley's getting paid by the Trump administration. I think Nick Shirley is your manufacturing consent, because people clearly don't trust mainstream media on this stuff anymore. Like, look at Venezuela. When he went into Venezuela, like, people were like, yeah, bullshit, dude. But I think Nick Shirley is his new version of manufacturing consent.
Army of federal agents wreaking havoc in the Twin Cities. You had Democratic Governor Tim Walz at the helm, while you had fraudsters making off with hundreds of millions of dollars in state money meant to help people in need during the pandemic. And that is, in fact, something that has happened in many states, although the scale was especially shocking in Minnesota. And what ended up actually happening is you had the Trump administration now zeroing in on a years-old case that federal prosecutors had even started charging people for way back in 2022 under Joe Biden. In the current admin, they really emphasize the involvement of dozens of Somali Americans, even though there are tens of thousands of them in the state. You know, the fact that a handful of them were engaged in fraud, it's not a reason to believe that many, many others have. But either way, this case, it was most likely a matter for criminal investigators, not immigration enforcement, especially since 87% of Minnesota's foreign-born Somali population are already American citizens. But still, what you had was Trump calling Somalis garbage and low IQ, suggesting that Congresswoman Ilhan Omar should be deported, and allegations of widespread fraud among Somali and other immigrant communities. It became part of the implied justification for this massive surge of immigration agents to the state in early December. And that was especially true after Nick Shirley claimed to have uncovered a $100 million fraud scheme involving Somali childcare centers in Minnesota, although he did so without providing any real or at least conclusive evidence. And in fact, the Minnesota Department of Children, Youth, and Families reported carrying out checks on 9 child care centers accused of fraud in Shirley's video and found that all were operating as expected. Though notably, you also had the agency revealing ongoing investigations at 4 of the centers on the list, and in total, it is 55 open investigations involving providers that are getting government funding. And so I say that because the point isn't to say that there are not any issues and that there isn't any fraud at all. Right? In fact, going back years, news outlets have published multiple stories covering childcare fraud, and several people, like I said, have been prosecuted. But even Shirley implying that this had never been discussed, and he manufactured outrage on unsubstantiated and overblown allegations. And it was then after his video that the Trump administration moved to send another roughly 2,000 federal agents to the city, with it then being just 2 more days until ICE agent Jonathan Ross shot and killed Renee Good. Right, and since then, we've just seen an absolute flood of videos appearing to show federal agents violently arresting immigrants and citizens, brutally cracking down on protesters, and shooting and killing American citizen Alex Preddy. And then in addition to the chaos on the ground, you had the White House moving to freeze federal child care funding for Minnesota and 5 other Democratic-led states, although you had a federal judge temporarily blocking that effort. And now today, we're seeing border czar Tom Homan saying that 700 agents will be leaving the state. But of course, that brings us to the question of where will they go next? Because you have some saying that the Trump administration and the MAGA influencer machine,
all right, we don't have to watch all of this. I just was interested what he was going to cover. Oh, he's got Dr. Oz doing his weird shit too. Bro, you want to talk about crazy?
Rage bait straight from his Russia-paid influencer starter kit. And as an example, Johnson's video tries to claim that California's homeless shelters are mostly filled with undocumented immigrants, but his main piece of evidence, it's a phone call with a purported whistleblower whose identity was kept hidden. And you had Newsom's office slamming the claim as being as real as our free unicorn for all undocumented people program. We've also recently had Mehmet Oz getting in on the action, right? He's part of the Trump administration. He's the administrator for the Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services. So also, I guess, possibly relevant to a conversation about fraud, he rose to fame in the eyes of many as something of a modern-day snake oil salesman, right? With Oz touting his medical background while promoting unsound scientific theories, unproven treatments, and bogus supplements, sometimes sold by companies that he had financial ties to. But in any case, last month, he said that CMS would withhold around $300 million in funding from California because, according to him, it was using the funds on non-emergency healthcare for illegals. And then last week, he published his own documentary-style video on alleged healthcare fraud in California involving phony hospices that he suggested were run by the Russian-Armenian mafia. Also, I'll say notably, neither Oz nor CMS have publicly shared details that confirm the fraud. And then the whole thing for many becomes especially problematic because Oz's parents came from Turkey, which, like Oz himself, in fact, has refused to acknowledge the history of the Armenian genocide. And so you actually had Governor Gavin Newsom's office filing a civil rights complaint against Oz after the video was published, saying that Oz spewed baseless and racially charged allegations. Also, funny enough, you had Newsom's office pointing to the fact that Trump himself has actually halted a federal effort to increase oversight on hospice care and root out fraud and abuse in the industry. And all of this is notably, he did not deny that fraud happens, but he insisted that the state was taking action. And actually, with that, you had the California.
And he's focusing on Armenian businesses only. I wonder if there's some sort of racial beef in between the Turks and the Armenians. I don't know. I don't know if something big has happened in that time. I don't know if, you know, there's a history of this. Turks fucking slaughtered Armenians for 40 years. Bro still got a beef from the Ottoman Empire.
Who goes to 7-Eleven to buy a fucking lemon, dude? What are you about to do? No, don't step in front of the lemon. Who goes to
don't step in front of the lemon, dude. Where's this guy from?
7-Eleven to buy? I'm a classy bitch. Who goes to 7-Eleven to buy a fucking lemon, dude? What are you?
Well, fucking goes to 7-Eleven to buy a lemon, dude. Who goes to fucking 7-Eleven to buy a lemon, dude? There's a fucking vocal tick for me.
About to do it that? No, don't step in front of the lemon. Who goes to 7-Eleven to buy a fucking lemon, dude? What?
Who goes to 7-Eleven to buy a fucking lemon, dude? Just stand in front of the lemon. All right, let's get to let's. Is there anything else in the news I need to? I don't think we do. My mental health is going to start to degrade pretty rapidly here soon. Oh, the Guthries released a new video.
There's a new plea tonight from the Guthrie family urging the person who may have abducted Nancy Guthrie to reach out. The mom.
Yeah, we saw that already. Is that the same one?
He was reported missing on Sunday.
No, it's just another video.
Investigators believe the 84-year-old.
Didn't they find a ransom note? Let's see if they found a ransom note. I think there's a ransom note. Deadline expires. Second, far more consequential ransom deadline expires. What did it say? It's yes. There is one that changes the demand and one that has already passed. The one from Monday is far more consequential. Monday, what's it say though? Alleged ransom amount was sent to TMZ while Levin said he has no proof the letter is legitimate. He noticed specific details, lends some credibility. We're not sure if this is written by a person who has Nancy, but I will say letter begins saying she is safe but scared, and they go on to say she knows exactly what the demand is. We knew she wore an Apple Watch. There are pictures of her with Savannah with that watch. They mentioned there was where the watch was, the placement of the watch in the house. That's not something that was out there. Only Tucson area, not in Tucson. Structured grant. Huh. Well, I want to know what the fucking demands are. I don't know. I hope this old Trump-loving lady makes it home. Or do I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'll stop. All right, let's do memes and whatnot. Let's have some fun for a little bit before I start to get real fucking tired.
Hello everyone, this is your daily dose of internet.
Nice.
This is the coolest delivery man ever.
Here you are. All right, that is the best delivery you can get.
It's clearly bringing him a vinyl. My is this Chinese man wearing a 511 hat? He's like, I love American police. They're so cool. 511's like a police and military outfitter. Nah.
It was about heaps of them right here. What? What the?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my gosh!
His quick reaction saved her from crashing into this pole.
Nice catch.
Be safe.
Oh yeah, I can.
Oh!
And she's gone.
Sure.
Don't ever do this.
This tree bent and snapped under the weight of the ice.
Are you videoing?
Yes. Oh my god.
Is it going?
Oh my gosh.
It looks like it might.
That'll happen.
Давай, давай.
Раз. Два. Три.
These donkey's tail succulents are frozen solid.
Can we just kill them while we're at it? Well, I don't know. Do succulents survive freezing? They probably do. That's a bummer.
So did you know that? Say his name.
Severus Snape.
Did you know he does that in response to his name?
Severus Snape.
He only does it when you say his name.
Doesn't say dude's about to get taken out.
They spotted a fever of stingrays migrating through a group of people.
People are about to get a real rude awakening. Oh, people move. Oh, people move. Oh, people move. Oh, my
Oh, look at that. They just went right around the kid.
God. Oh, my God.
This is why you don't park on the running water. That's frozen solid. Damn.
It's all ice. I just told my wife this is probably the only opportunity, or maybe the only opportunity I'll ever have, to slide down my driveway like a penguin on my belly.
If you're ever wondering why someone is taking a long time in the toilet, this is why.
Dude, fucking climbers, bro. Can't even take a normal shit.
Come on, bro. Dang, that's cool now. Yeah, nah.
Oh, that's cool. Interesting. Anytime I see a lathe, I just know bad things are gonna happen.
So I just found out e-foils make pretty cool vortices underwater.
Come on, Kate. Yes. Yes.
This fire
You know, I mean this, you know, in such a loving way to the very active people in my life. You know, I have many friends, very active, like to work out, probably a little too much, run too many miles in a row. But I can tell you right now, I have nothing in common with that person. There's absolutely nothing me and this person have in common. Nothing. Not a single goddamn thing. I hate that. I hate this so much.
This fire cloud was produced by a huge ray
too into working out.
Grand Canyon's rim. This pigeon can do a backflip. This chair closes in on you with your body weight.
A good old dad face reveal.
You're kind of explaining some really weird stuff, and it's hard to explain, but I like hanging back in the woods. It's just really creepy sometimes.
This guy made a miniature bedroom for his fish. This little dude is 3 years old with 30 years of experience.
Get this kid in the circuit. He's too good. Definitely British.
This diver left their camera.
They're using yellow and red balls. Fucking British. Can't even play pool right.
This diver left their camera at the bottom of the ocean to show how loud it is. I have never seen a bee with a blue butt before.
Motherfucker's wriggling.
Again? Yeah, that's enough.
Maybe that's a no. There's a guy in Denver who does paintings like this. Just super cool. That's gotta be fucking hard to do.
These strange icicles appeared in Florida.
Hey, do you mind if I get you something to drink? I can make you some chocolate milk. We got some chocolate milk, and I think... Yeah, so we also have some chocolate milk.
This bird's mom was trying to get them to be quiet. I guess he's treading on thin ice.
Whoa. Whoa. Holy wow.
These two calves went for a stroll on a motorway in Poland, and they were later rescued. This guy was driving in the middle of nowhere and found a Prada store.
A Prada store?
Yeah, in Texas. It's been there for over a decade.
A Prada store.
Dude, people on the internet make me feel worldly. I say worldly like Texas isn't only like 2 states away from me. God, what's the name of the fucking town? It's a single word. Feels very Texas. Fuck. I want to figure it out. Oh, it's not. It's yeah, Marfa. It's in Marfa, Texas. How long has it been there? Hold on. Gave life in 2005. It's been there for 21 years. What are you doing in Texas without your brother?
I was walking around Miami and saw that the rare cold weather made all these iguanas go into brumation. It's a type of deep sleep that protects reptiles until the weather warms up.
Bro, what the hell is my screensaver doing? I've never seen the bubbles do this before. What the hell is happening? Help! Help! Oh my god!
Move your mouse.
Dude, what in the actual is no.
Oh, I saw this guy from another angle.
It's like a motorhome frame.
Okay, but look at
It's not a motorhome frame, dog. It's a school bus.
he's literally just out there like
How was that a... whatever.
This man and his dog had to be rescued by a helicopter.
I should be talking shit to him. It's just a frame. It could be anything. Dog's like, we swimming?
This diver found a crab with a really cool hat.
It's got coral growing on its head. Oh, because they're those crabs that decorate themselves with shit.
We gotta go to work. Let's go. We're late.
Climbers be normal. Challenge impossible. Get it. Your hands are strong.
I found this YouTuber who built his own hoverboard.
First time in the hot tub, out in the country, and the neighbor's goat wants to say hello.
This is the prettiest sunset I've ever seen. He's gonna be so confused when he wakes up.
Oh, good morning. How you doing?
I'm fine. How you doing?
Good. Did you sleep good?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, wow.
All right.
How does he find this comfy?
His pants just fell down.
Well, what are you going to do about that?
This is a maple tunnel located in Japan. This guy lit a natural gas reserve.
Oh! Oh! You're right.
That is the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys again very, very soon. Later.
There's more guns in the United States.
Yeah, we'll do Good Liars. Fuck it.
Here.
Good Liars went to some sort of weird like gun rally.
And than any country in the world. Do you think there's a correlation there?
We'll do this and probably do some Discord and call it a day.
No. No. Nope.
I'm tired.
We are here in Las Vegas, and behind us is the Venetian Hotel. And this week, it is host to the SHOT Show, a big invite-only pro-gun convention where about 60,000 people from all 50 states and 126 countries show up to check out new gear, party, and most importantly, quietly plan the future of gun politics. Hey, a couple guys in suits. What's happening at SHOT Show?
All sorts of things.
What actually happens inside of it?
I don't know.
Now, on the surface, it looks and feels like a giant product expo, but underneath, it's a closed-door strategy session for manufacturers, dealers, lobbyists, and lawyers, all comparing notes on how to grow their business in 2026.
What happens in the SHOT Show? You can't say? It's weird. Now, when people think about gun lobbying, they usually think about the NRA. Are you familiar with the NRA?
Yes, of course. Do you know what the NRA is?
Yes, of course.
Have you heard of the NRA before?
Of course.
Yeah. Have you heard of the NSSF?
What's that? No, I haven't. No.
Do you know what the NSSF is?
No.
The National Shooting Sports Foundation. They're the ones who put on the SHOT Show, and they have quietly overtaken the NRA as the biggest spender on gun lobbying here in the United States. So what is the SHOT Show for people who aren't familiar with it?
Oh, gee whiz. It's an NRA on steroids. It's much.
What is this Mennonite motherfucker doing?
You'd want people to know that the SHOT Show is the NRA on steroids?
That's what it is.
And as a gun shop owner, are there specific events that lead to spikes in gun sales?
Specific events as of...
like if there's a presidential election coming up or a mass shooting or something like that.
Well, sometimes that can affect it, yes, yeah.
Which one affects it more?
Well, a lot of different things can affect it. Gun laws, which are enacted by the state or whatever.
The average person, the responsible citizen attending, are they allowed to bring a gun into the show?
I would not think so.
After a mass shooting, have you noticed people talk about there being a spike in gun sales?
You know, I've seen that before, but not in the last few years.
Okay.
Obviously, just Sandy Hook was probably the biggest one. But after that, not so much.
Really? Well, I guess because after Sandy Hook, they weren't like a new gun law wasn't passed after that.
Nope.
And it kind of seemed like kids were shot and they didn't pass a law. They're not going to pass a law for another one, right?
They haven't, no.
And so what is going to be done about gun violence in America?
Oh, I don't think anything. I don't think anything would be.
Well, why not?
It's not that violent.
America's not that violent?
No.
SHOT Show trivia. How many people died last year of gun violence? $38,676.
The SHOT Show raises millions of dollars. We expect to hear a lot of messaging inside about gun safety, which feels a little bit strange because guns are responsible for almost 40,000 deaths a year.
I just thought you were going to say because guns kill people.
Right. Yeah.
Right. All right, so we're inside the Venetian right now. A lot of cool casino games here, a lot of slot machines. Now we're going to make our way to the convention center, try to get into the SHOT Show, see what's going on the inside of the SHOT Show. Let's go. Hey, Sharp Dress Guy, how's the SHOT Show this year?
Good, man.
Yeah?
Good.
What happens in the SHOT Show?
Industry meetings.
And what part of the industry are you?
I work for a manufacturer.
So we're inside the SHOT Show now, and one thing we've noticed after going to a lot of NRA conventions is that everyone there is kind of dressed in like camo hats, and you see a lot of that here. But also you see like guys just like this guy right here. He's dressed in suits. Looks like they're here making deals. A little bit.
Hey, welcome in.
Than at an NRA convention.
If you've never been to SHOT Show, you don't know what you're missing. It is industry related, so not just any regular old Joe can walk in there. But if you, like yesterday, I went to the Governor's Forum, and I heard from 7 different governors that were speaking, red state governors that were speaking on where we are as a nation.
There's like state leaders, there's governors there talking, trying to influence law and that sort of thing.
Well, absolutely. It's not influencing law so much, it's protecting the laws.
Oh yeah, what was the election today?
Already in play.
Anyone actually like decently progressive?
Here at the SHOT Show.
We got distracted with all the other nonsense going on. Nice. Sorry if you didn't know this yet, I'm dual streaming on YouTube, so I have this thing for when I smoke. It's technically, I'm not supposed to vape on YouTube.
And something super cool, I mean, if you love guns, is that you can...
Sad is like Twitch is just honestly the superior platform. It just doesn't have the fucking traffic.
With your coffee, I guess.
So here at the SHOT Show, there is something called Shot After Dark. That's the name of it, Shot After Dark. It's all the events that are taking place, the nightlife of SHOT Show. But Shot After Dark is kind of a weird name. It sounds like you're getting shot after dark. NSSF, they actually do a lot of lobbying on behalf of the gun industry. Is that true?
Oh, yeah. When people think about gun lobbying, they
AOC endorsed cloning woman in Dominican. Nice.
Wayne LaPierre and the NRA. But what they should be thinking about is this: the NSSF.
Don't worry, if it makes you feel better, it looks like every day we get closer to it, Kamala's going to be the candidate.
And a guy named Joseph Parker.
In Congress, good.
They're responsible.
At least someone.
Lobbying, and the NRA is now.
At least someone progressives doing something.
Get more guns.
What's one surprising fact about guns?
They're totally safe.
Okay, I got one too. The majority of Americans want stricter gun laws.
That's a bunch of bullshit.
There's another sign here for a SHOT Show giveaway. Let's see what they're giving away this time. Oh, it's a gun. So here's a booth for Sig Sauer. This is one of the biggest gun makers in the United States of America. Their guns have actually been used in a lot of the mass shootings that have happened over the last 10 years here in the United States of America. I don't see any mention of that here with the products they're selling. They spend a lot of money lobbying, protecting their profits, especially after these mass shootings when there's an uproar over gun safety and potentially passing laws that would hurt their sales. They go on the offensive and spend money to try and make sure that these laws aren't passed.
They make the most money that they spend this year, the NSSF, on lobbying. And they make it here at this show. They spend it throughout the year to lobby in Washington, D.C.
I have no idea.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So if you attend the SHOT Show, you might not know that behind the scenes, there's a lot of lobbying going on. And those are laws to make sure gun manufacturers make tons of money.
It says, did you know your attendance at the SHOT Show directly supports the mission of NSSF
their industry's trade association, from advocating on behalf of the industry in Washington, D.C., and in state capitals nationwide to providing compliance education, industry research, firearm safety programs, and helping grow participation in hunting and the shooting sports. NSSF's strengths and successes on behalf of the industry are fueled by you and your business. And they're saying that because this show brings in about 75% of the money that the NSSF brings in a year. So this is where the lobbying money comes from.
In the defense industry.
Oh, okay. What do you do?
Weapons, ammunition.
Weapons, ammunition?
Yes.
Is this a big show for protecting the sales of guns in the United States of America?
We don't really sell in the U.S.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we have just partners that we meet here.
Oh, okay. Where do you sell?
I cannot really tell you, but it's not in the U.S.
Okay. Can you give me a hint?
Africa, Europe. Yeah.
Okay. Who are you selling to in Africa and Europe?
I cannot tell you.
Okay.
Sorry.
All right. Well, that was interesting, to say the least.
We found another giveaway. Let's see what they're giving away here at the SHOT Show. Oh, it's looks like it's 2 guns.
How was the SHOT Show?
Good.
Good? Where are you guys in from?
Germany.
Germany. Well, what are the gun laws like in Germany?
Gun laws very bad.
They're bad in Germany?
Yeah. Most laws, and I think the political guys want anti-weaponized our civilization. Yeah.
Are there a lot of mass shootings in Germany?
No.
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 Okay.
Good.
Okay.
Bye.
All right.
One thing we've heard from a lot of people is you might want to carry a gun, but you never want to have to use it. Anyway, here's a sign that says "Gear for your daily gunfight," with a picture of a gun.
But buying a gun is a lot to do with kind of a personal thing too. I mean, you have.
Wait, why did you say it's more likely than in the next election? No, because it's Kamala Harris rebooted Kamala HQ, one of her like channels from her election, and so everyone's been all stroking their dick on the K-Hive this week.
Is it emotional?
It's annoying.
Is it emotional?
I'm tired of it.
I wouldn't say it's so more emotional. It's more personal. People like to get something that fits their hand well, so they can actually operate well. Some people can operate revolvers better than semi-autos, so that would be the better gun for them, especially women.
You put it in your hand, you kind of know when it touches your hand.
Guns are like a pair of shoes. I mean, you can't wear the same shoes maybe that he wears because you got bigger feet than him. So.
Well, they don't. Shoes don't fire bullets and kill people.
Yeah.
That's the difference, I guess.
Well, you want something that fits your hand, yeah. So
like a glove with bullets, kind of.
On TikTok and on Twitter.
Yeah. Yeah.
How do you think we can keep Americans safer from gun violence?
Everyone carry a gun.
Just more guns, arm more people?
Yeah.
This is the U.S. CCA, United States Concealed Carry Association. And they have a sign up here that says "Save Lives," and I guess it'll save lives if more people are carrying guns.
We have the most guns out of any country in the world, but we also have the most mass shootings. Do you think those things are correlated?
Not at all.
So I just heard a couple guys in church talking about a big sale they made. It's all about sales and profit. It's something you don't really think about with the gun industry, the way it's framed. It's more framed like, oh, this is your right. You need to have a gun. That's the reason we're fighting for gun rights. But really, it's all about profit. We keep hearing that over and over again. Just profit, profit, profit. It's all money.
Oh, look, an auction. Let's see what they're auctioning. It's a gun.
It's a gun. Yeah, we'll do the Gavin Newsom Daily Show thing first. Yeah, they did a good job on that. All right. We'll rip through a couple I don't know if we're going to make it all the way through Discord, but we'll at least rip through some of it.
To victory! To victory! I don't play World of Warcraft. Butters, you said you're on your computer all the time. Yeah, but I'm playing Hello Kitty Island Adventure.
They have the actual game in there. I wanted to play it. I never ended up playing it. No, this is like my. I've been doing it all week. This is the third because I didn't stream yesterday, so third this week. I'm giving it a month. I decided to pay for like the $19 1 month restream subscription. Which you don't have to do. You can do it for free, but I don't like the watermark and all the dumb stuff it gives you. So I decided I'm going to do 1 month. And if 1 month I don't gain more viewers on YouTube, I'll quit. But I'm giving it a shot.
Praise the Lord.
It's turning out to be pretty useless so far this week, but it's the first week, so. Literally haven't had a single chatter in 3 hours on YouTube. I don't think I'm getting pushed anywhere. I don't think anyone's seeing my stream to begin with.
Cold beer, cold beer, cold beer, cold beer, cold beer,
Cold beer.
cold beer. With a nice cold beer. With a nice cold beer. I love cold beer. Cold beer. With a nice cold beer. With a nice cold beer. Cold beer. Cold beer. With a nice cold beer. With a nice cold beer. Cold beer. Cold beer. With a nice cold beer. With a nice cold beer. Nice cold beer. With a nice cold beer. Nice cold beer. Cold beer. Cold beer. Cold beer. Cold beer. Nice
And then slip Bo Burnham in there. It's kind of funny.
Nice cold beer. Cold beer. Cold beer. Ice cold beer. Cold beer. Ice cold beer. Cold beer. Cold beer. Cold beer. Ice cold beer. Ice cold beer. Cold beer. Cold beer. Ice cold beer. Cold beer. Cold beer.
That beer's got to be cold as fuck.
Warm beer.
Beer's cold as fuck.
Okay.
Mr. Krabs is very high.
Plankton, remember that you owe me half of the profits.
What did you do?
We've created our own marijuana-based drink.
What? And why you're using marijuana?
Because
marijuana.
Drinking healthy drinks tastes awful. I wouldn't even buy this garbage. But I put a lot of sugar in it. It's not bad. Are you sure?
It's like the other war game hell could do it. I know. I think that's why I never ended up playing it, is I was like, ugh. I gotta keep coming back every day to do shit. I was like, I don't know if I like that.
It's so fucking good. You're right. It's a shit.
You are a couple of assholes.
Perhaps the healthy drink is over. I will bring more.
Do you realize marijuana is illegal in Bikini Bottom?
Shut the fuck up. You are just a TT's voice babbling nonsense. Okay, I took out a big part.
So I let him go in exchange for introducing me to his sister. She's very pretty.
Maybe I will smoke a little bit.
Hey, you fool.
No, I know. I decided to. I know it's free. I know you can use the free. I've had free before. I just did. I paid for it. And had delay on chat. Really? I mean, there's not much I can do about it at this point, to be honest.
Where do you think you're going, Snoop Dogg?
It's coriander.
Do you think I don't know how it smells? I have already tried.
You should arrest yourself. Morin! Oh, fuck! Luckily, I was a champion running in the 1995 marathon. I don't even believe that bullshit. I lost them, but I dropped the bag. What?
How much do you charge, bitch?
He forgot to lock the door. He must have assumed everyone in here. I don't get how this idiot buy all this stuff since I don't pay him a fuck. Yay! Medical cannabis. Good thing I have it.
Medical cannabis.
My drink will be a success. You've got to be fucking kidding me.
3 minutes? On fucking Twitch? Shouldn't be. I got 9 seconds on Twitch. Now, YouTube's a different story. YouTube is rough.
I guess you must feel very stupid now.
On the contrary, because
9 seconds is still a little much too, but
I instead broke this just in case. You leave, motherfuckers. Die, you poo-poo. Push it to the limit. You're a bunch of
probably 9 seconds because it's running through Restream, to be honest. I'm just giving it a shot, see if it's worth it. So far, it's proving to not be worth it. It's just 1 week.
Smoking on Bhutanese Shadow Garden grown Dark Evil pack. They watered this with the blood of 36 dragons.
God, I wish a time that this was our reality.
Shit so purple it should be asking me, where's Ronald? Nigga, this shit will turn your...
And this was just our memes.
Nuclear levels of sour.
We laughed about Sleepy Joe.
Kush. Shit got diamonds on it, so you know that THC to CBD ratio is fucking swag, nigga. A whiff of this shit? Yeah, that nefarious evil sorcerer Moongrass. This shit straight out of K-Lid. This shit is what shot Tupac. Rip my nigga for real, dog.
Andrew shows his...
We'll add it to the list. I don't have 21 minutes in me, I'll tell you that much. We'll get to that next week. Stop playing them in the browser.
You wanna know how bad it is?
Dude, this thing is up to 7.1 million likes. Holy shit.
You wanna know how bad it is? You wanna know how bad it is? Look, now I done lost my damn show.
Yeah, I kind of want to experience the ice everyone was experiencing.
MAGA is, I think people are realizing.
Oh, yeah. Marjorie Taylor Greene's off the boat completely.
It was all a lie.
She's still an awful person, but...
It was a big lie for the people. What MAGA is really serving is, in this administration, who they're serving is their big donors. The big donors that donated all the money and continue to donate to the president's PACs and donate to the 250th anniversary and are donating to the big ballroom. And if they're donating to all these things, those are the people that get the special favors, they get the government contracts, they get the pardons, or somebody they love or one of their friends gets a pardon. And it's the foreign countries that are running the show here. It's the major big corporations and what is best for the world. That's really what MAGA is. That's the results. That's what we're seeing after one full year of MAGA. It's kind of like the Scooby-Doo meme where, you know, they pull the mask off the bad guy. Well, the mask is being pulled off, and the Make America Great Again isn't really about America or the American people. It's not about the American people.
She got some lip filler done. All right, I hate to I'm not going to make it all the way through. I'm tired. I'm done. I'm cooked. I can't do it anymore. I'm tired. Neurodetergent on? Yeah, we'll raid neurodetergent. I'm cooked. I'm very tired. I can't do it anymore. Time for me to go rest. Ugh. Randall's, I use my favorites, hemp derived THC government bastards. Yeah. I mean, the hemp derived it's the way it's gonna go. I don't see hemp derived sticking around. It's just because it's a loophole. Do they have a problem because it's a loophole? And you're not paying your state like insane taxes. You know? Because like the medical marijuana in your state probably has like upwards of like a 20% tax on it, right?
Right. And
pandering
to wealthy people,
It's like a 20% tax on it. Mine is like up to like 28 in some areas of the state.
$1 million.
And at the end of the day,
Couple of people.
if they're not getting that 20% tax, they don't like it.
You need, or is it easier to go to
My state's hemp drive's been
ask for a little bit of money?
in November.
You see what
Yeah,
I'm saying
hemp drive's been illegal in my state for
the
like
working class to get fucked.
years.
I am parked behind a really good liberal car.
I think it's been like 3 or 4 years. It's mainly because the state doesn't get crazy taxes. All right.
And also, too, if you're not good at asking for money,
Everyone have a good night. Have a good day tomorrow. Have a good weekend. I'll be back on Monday.
asking for money, I don't like asking.
We're going to continue to try YouTube. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not loving Restream right now.
My jam.
I'm going to try to set up the TikTok side of it as well so I can do TikTok
This would be
at the same time as everything else.
Or I wouldn't.
I'm going to give that a shot, but you know, we'll give it a shot. I need to get my TikTok back up and running too. My TikTok's all fucked up. Keep getting in trouble. I gotta stop getting in trouble.
Sure, Echo.
But yeah. Have a good night and adios and vio con dios.